there's no legislation that has ever passed, or any bill that became legislation has never gone through this type of questioning. But this is due process, right? And they want it for it to come up as if this is a precedence in terms of the process, not the bill or the bill in its entirety, but the process. The truth is, this is how legislation becomes. The full process of it, bills become legislation. So it's nothing new, but they want to put on a performance and a spectacle, neighbor, to say, hey, we can take this to court and hype it up as if they're really contributing at the highest. But it's nothing for people to worry about. It's really smoke and mirrors, to be honest. They want to get all the headlines to take away from the real purpose of this bill. And as such, the media is pushing this narrative, not surprisingly either. But it has turned a lot of heads when it comes down to people who don't understand the process of governance and how bills become legislation, if they do become legislation at that. So it's just the opposition.
What about
putting on a show?
What about the government? What about the government's?
I'm not too perturbed about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, what about the government's strategy, Harry? Clearly, the politics is going to get interesting as far as this bill is concerned. How do you think the government should respond to this?
Well, neighbor, just follow the proper channels.
Yeah.
Which should include letting the general public have a greater understanding of not just what they're trying to achieve, but how the process goes and what are the intricacies that may be there for something like a NaRRA. Because it's for this bill and what it can do and will do for Jamaica and Jamaicans when it passed, it should be taken with some more fight, more on the forefront, on the front foot. As a cricketer, you play on merit and you play on the front foot, but you don't get that just yet. And I'm saying just yet from the government, because I anticipate it eventually will come, but I would want them to defend it from the get-go, rather than waiting until certain things gather a lot of momentum, and then they have to push back, and then it seems like it's a fight when it shouldn't be. But education-wise, regarding the public, let them know what it is. I don't see much from, for example, GIS, who should be tasked with this topic itself, because of course the mainstream media won't necessarily push this because it's not sexy, it's not grabbing, it's not something that pulls people towards them in that manner. So it doesn't sell for them, and their business first right now. But the government themselves have to ensure that throughout every channel, every I don't want to say every ministry that will have some form of that will be working with NaRRA per se, each ministry should come out and educate the people as to how they will play a part, in helping Jamaica build forward under this proposed legislation. And that will take the power away from the People's National Party from doing two important things. And they've been doing this since Melissa. The misinformation and disinformation aspect of things, that hasn't died, and that is coming back. And I expect them to tweak some things. For persons who don't know, one word in a bill can be twisted in so many ways because of how the English language is. And I expect somebody like a Mark Golding to come out, who is very good at what he does now. But this is his ballpark when it comes down to legislation and reading the law. But if the government can get enough people to understand what it is, then it's less likely that the opposition can get away with misinforming people again deliberately.
Yeah. What when you say because I get the sense, Harry, that the people are very disengaged at this time, and I was listening back to Protecting last week. I hope I could talk to him later on after the notes, but he was suggesting that the government actually take this to the people. you know, for what it matters, I asked a couple of people earlier today if they knew anything about NaRRA, and they didn't. How could we allow this to be happening, where something so fundamental, uh, possibly transformational, consequential even, is getting such little public awareness and support?
Well, I believe with it, neighbor, the with so many things that the government is doing, I don't see them, spreading their wings to the magnitude that they ought to. Because it's not easy to govern as it stands right now with what's happening, geopolitical impacts recovery from Melissa. But I do strongly believe, and I hope it holds true, that they will put a pep in their step when it comes on to pushing this. This is where you clear the air, because what is happening, and most persons won't say this is governance versus politics. And right now, it is coming off to the people of Jamaica as if through the attempt to pass this bill into legislation, it's coming off as if there are party lines drawn. But the truth about it is that it's not a party line when it comes down to the government itself, right? It is more because the opposition, who, they may say they're 28 strong, wants to hold true in opposing to the bill itself. Even when they've been corrected, I don't think when for example, Margoni was corrected by the Prime Minister, I don't see much of that to show up. I think the affiliates may have to step in a lot sooner, the Young Jamaica and G2K, to open up, that level of conversation to the people, because they do have a mandate, they do have to come out, and their demographic in which they appeal to, they have to get it out to them. And in a time like this, neighbor, where persons are now, caught up in trying to build back themselves, trying to recover from Melissa, doing what they can, they may be, preoccupied more than normal in trying to get work done, and as such, they're not necessarily in the space or have the time and energy to go ahead and do the research and listen to certain things. But with these affiliates who can get out there and have a mandate to be out there, to be honest, community meetings and so on, especially for those who were significantly impacted, I expect, specifically from the government side, that those member of parliaments there should be in their constituencies, councils alike, to educate the people in this manner, and not expect it from central government itself, because once ministers and member parliaments within that sits in parliament, they do their deliberations and having discussions, it doesn't stay there. It's not just at one meeting, two meeting, and viewership from parliament. It's conversations that has to be dumbed down, has to be put in the reality of the space of the people so they can understand it. Because I can tell you a lot of things that is discussed regarding NaRRA, it has not been pushed to the people well. And I'm speaking in terms of from a governance standpoint, which includes the opposition. Because even though you see them kicking up a rumpus, their neighbor, I can tell you, if you go in their constituencies, for those member of parliament that speak, less than 10% of the people understand what they were in there arguing about. And that shows that it's not a nationalistic standpoint from the opposition. But I think the government, they have to now put in more resources to ensure that they can reach out to the people so they can buy into it. Because while NaRRA is all good in a neighbor and can set out to do what it ought to, you need the people to buy into it wholeheartedly, holistically, because they are really the drivers of NaRRA. If they aren't equipped and ready, then NaRRA will just be a legislation that and a move that was filled with potential to drive Jamaica to the next phase. So a lot of groundwork has to be done. Put it in the space of the people. Let it be on repetition. Let people understand, because that's how human beings learn, neighbor, through repetition, through seeing it. The more they hear it, the more it is in their space, the more likely they'll gravitate to see why. And with a time like this where algorithm speaks a lot to people, They have to get it out.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you what, brother Harry. Let me jump into the notes and I'll get back to you. So you have your dinner yet?
Actually cooking dinner, neighbor, but I'm not giving her like any.
Is what Scratchy eat? What are the delicacies he eat? Is not any octopus?
No, I'm not having any hippopotamus and whale tail soup.
Boy, I tell you, what a man into fine dining. What is that fine dining? He eats it's the most fantastic thing. What did you have for dinner there, Shefreen? Well, don't tell us. Let's. So I'll catch up back with you in another half hour or so, Harry.
Definitely, neighbor.
All right, great. Okay. So so listeners, let me play for you, Mr. Buchanan. Let me play for you, Mr. Buchanan. Okay.
That's why we as a nation need to come together and recognize that when parliament business is going on, you can't be political with the interests of Jamaica. And so the contributions coming from Mark Jefferson Golden, opposition leader, invaluable. Receptive, I think, and I'm gonna say it, I think that the King's counsels in the room, both Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, and King's Counsel Malahoo Ford, and even Senior Counsel Miss Dalrymple. They are legal minds in the room, and I'm sure they would give them guidance in relation to where there are gaps in the legislation. And the hope is that come Tuesday, there will be improvement. I expect to see a definition of resilience. Because if it's not there, the whole government dunce.
You hear that? The whole government dunce. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know that I could get into representational politics, you know. But you see, the Jamaica Labour Party, there is a lesson that I want them to learn. There are some people that you must campaign hard to keep them out of parliament. Labour Party supporters, you love your party, you better wake up. You might call the whole party government dunce. Listen, this administration, led by Prime Minister Holness, is one of the most qualified in Jamaica's history. When you are doing a campaign, you see, you have to look at the candidates. And there are some candidates you must nothing going to parliament. No, you have to do what you have to do. And me, if it's I don't need to say nothing more. You have to do what you have to do. You can't go in there. This is a battle, you know. It's a political battle, and it's also a battle of the minds. Politics are not full people, you know. Politics are serious business. And when you get a man like Isaac beating Miss Anne-Marie Vat, should never happen. The Labour Party, I don't know how the Labour Party allowed that to happen. You understand what I'm saying to you? Anyway, the man is saying that the whole government are dunce. Well, he's not saying that the government don't, but he must say that if the government can define. Come on now, Mr. Buchanan. And Your Holiness is a scholar. Dr. Chang is a medical doctor. Delroy Chuck is a Rhodes scholar. The Minister of Education, moderator, I'm going to ask you if you could just give me the list of the names of the cabinet ministers. The man you're bright. The shadow cabinet of the People's National Party is no match for the Jamaica Labour Party shadow cabinet. Mr. Isaac Buchanan out of order. What do you mean the government don'ts? I mean don'ts. And then, and this is a problem I have with the party. People don't want me to criticize the party, but I have to. Isaac shouldn't win that seat. Mr. Buchanan should never have won that seat. The party should have locked down tight like a sardine can, like Mr. Siaga said. You should have locked down Eastern Portland. Tight. Can't lose. You do whatever you have to do, you do. And I saw the game of the play. So a game of the play. Can't go in a parliament. Sometimes you have to play a little politics, Sometimes you have to play a little politics. You have to kind of jump in at the ring and make them know what. Go on. It's a man that go cause problem. Like a Miss Burchell. How Miss Burchell get in the parliament? Mr. Man, I want to talk to Mr. Homer Davis, I like a Miss Burchell. You don't get Miss Burchell in a parliament, man. You lock down Southern St. James. Lock it down. You understand what I'm saying to you? Same how you lock down Central Manchester. Lock out some people out of parliament. You should have locked out Mr. Buchanan. Dr. Holness. Man has a doctorate. The brightest man in the parliament. Dr. Chang. Most Honorable Dr. Chang. Former Minister of Health. Dr. Chang is a medical doctor. Faval Williams. Send me the shadow cabinet for the PNP there. A shadow cabinet name our break front. Send me the break front, the PNP break front. Faval Williams. Studied abroad. One of the brightest financial minds on the island. Kamina Johnson Smith. Our best Minister of Foreign Affairs in Jamaica's history. Don'ts? Boy, I tell you something. They say liberty really come through carelessness. And this man is going to insinuate that the government of the Jamaica Labour Party don'ts. You, Mr. Buchanan, you're rude. What a man rude. Babsy Grange, Edmund Bartlett, the best tourism minister in Jamaica's history. Floyd Green. Sir Green is a lawyer. Christopher Tufton. He has a PhD. The best health minister. Montague, Mackenzie, Darrell Vaz, Pernell Charles Jr. He's a lawyer. Delroy Chuck. He's a lawyer, Rhodes Scholar, mathematician, used to lecture at the Norman Manley Law School, Dunce, Aubin Hill, former CEO at NCB, Kamina Johnson Smith, Rhodes Scholar. She has a PhD. Matthew Samuda, Dr. Wheatley, he has a PhD. And I could go on, Audrey Marks, not to mention the Senate. How Duns come this up? Party should have locked out Mr. Buchanan from now. And I don't know. Anyway, let me not even sometimes a little bit disappointed, but I can't express the disappointment here. The fact of the matter is that the People's National Party is no match for the Labour Party when it comes on to intelligence. No match. There's no match. The Jamaica Labour Party's cabinet is a far superior cabinet to any we have had. And we have had good cabinets. All right. I'm having a little bit of problem with my screen here. Let me see if we can adjust that. No, that's not even better. Moderator, I don't know what's happening to my thing here. I tell you the truth. Let me. Okay, let's see if we can work with that. Okay, see if you can work with that. Okay. Now let's go back to Mr. Buchanan. Let's go back to Mr. Buchanan. Go ahead.
And that's my submission on that. Or I hope I explain what I thought was what was problematic for the bill.
So, in an effort to how receptive is the ruling party to the contributions of the opposition?
So I'm not a hypocrite. I'm gonna say this to you. It has to be an embarrassing feat when the opposition leader gets up on his feet and he is a master drafter. I'm not saying this. But when the opposition leader,
I don't know about no master drafter. Mr. Golden is a master drafter. I don't know about that. Anyway, you say Golden a master drafter.
Gets up and he criticizing and he goes line by line, clause by clause, and they cut off his mic, very disrespectful, shut him down, and he wasn't even able to finish with what was wrong. And he was kind enough to, because I sat with the party leader, you know, and showed him what.
No. So Mr. Golden must just chat. Mr. Golden must just be allowed to chat in the parliament because his name Mark Golden. Who is Mr. Golden? Eh? Who is Mr. Golden? Mr. Golden is the opposition leader. Yes, we know that. We respect that. But the opposition leader is allotted time. So you stay in your time. You can't blame the speaker for enforcing the parliamentary rules. That is not disrespect. If you say to the opposition leader, you have half an hour, and when half an hour come, you cut him off. That's not disrespect, Mr. Buchanan. That's following procedure. And you are a lawyer, you should know that. You can't go into the court, but just do what you want. The judge will not allow it. When you went to the Privy Council to defend Vibes Cartel, you never had to abide by some rules in the court. The speaker is not being rude. No, that's not true. Let's listen a little bit more to him. Eh?
I thought were things that were inadequate, and we had conversations. So just the ability to even have a conversation with somebody who is actually competent is much needed in a space where legislating, drafting for the future of Jamaica is taking place. Were they receptive? Of course they're receptive, but it is an embarrassing feat. But that's why we as a nation need to come together and recognize that when parliament business is going on, you can't be political with the interests of Jamaica.
No, that's a contradiction. When parliament business is going on, you can't be political with it. But what is the PNP doing? Is the PNP not playing politics here, Mr. Buchanan? Is it not playing politics with the NaRRA bill?
And so the contributions coming from Mark Jefferson Golden, opposition leader, invaluable. Receptive, I think, and I'm gonna say it, I think that the King's counsels in the room, both Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, and King's Counsel Malahoo Ford, and even Senior Counsel Miss Dalrymple. They are legal minds in the room, and I'm sure they would give them guidance in relation to where there are gaps in the legislation. And the hope is that come Tuesday, there will be improvement. I expect to see a definition of resilience. Because if it's not there, the whole government does.
That's an overreach. And that's rude. Mr. Isaac Buchanan is a parliamentarian. And that's not parliamentary language. Well, Mr. Buchanan was not in parliament, but for Mr. Buchanan to be insinuating that the whole government dunce. You see the problem I have with the party? They've not picked up that yet. For this is wrong. You can't be calling the government dunce. This is the quality of parliamentarians we have. The whole government dunce. I think this needs a response. We have lowered the politics. The whole government dunce. It's ridiculous. You know, we may be setting up ourselves for something that we can't handle, you know. And when we take up people like Mr. Isaac Buchanan and put him in our parliament, this is what we get. People like Miss Nikisha Burchell talk about yamhead. There was an insinuation in the parliament that the speaker was a yamhead. When you put people like these in the parliament, the sacred halls of parliament, this is what you get. And we're going to have to ask ourselves, have we made a mistake? And I think we have. Because it begins with the recruiting process. How do we recruit people for parliament? What are their history? What are their values? What does it take to become a member of parliament in Jamaica? The highest decision-making body in the country. And one of them is on an interview saying government may be a dunce. The whole government dunce. That's what we get when we bury our heads in the sand and think that everybody who applied to parties must become member of parliament. And as I said earlier, and I will say it again, some people should be locked out of the parliament. Lock them out. Party can put up who they want to put up. The government will lock them out. Our standards are getting low and lower, and especially low from this set of PNP members of parliament. I'll have more to say on that. Let's go forward.
And I don't associate dunce with my name. So big and bad, beat my chest to say, you must have a definition.
No, associate dunce with people. Big and bad, beat my chest. This is a parliamentarian, you know. Big and bad, beat your chest in associate dunce in government. Wow. Wow, Jamaica. I tell you something. Let's listen a little bit more.
And an intellect will take it one step further to say that disaster resilience is also a term that is to be defined. But you have a legislation and you don't know whether the minister or the prime minister have certain powers. And even if the minister and the prime minister is one and the same, you still need to identify for clarity. Because the Minister of Finance also participates in some of the workings of the legislation. So you can't just be running around saying minister, minister, minister. Because he's not going to be the prime minister forever. When I ask Christ, may I tell you that?
You hear that? Them plan to move out, Andrew. No, sir. Boy, I tell you, me not ask Christ. Me not ask Christ. Huh?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Me not ask Christ. You know, they doubted him in 2011. They doubted him in 2016. They even doubted him in 2020 and 2025. And it's 3 terms he has won. 3 terms. And me now ask Christ, Mr. Buchanan, you can walk in the Prime Minister's shoes. Me now ask Christ. But by the way, what does that term mean? Me now ask Christ. What I mean? Let me not even sound blasphemous. I will not let people say that. Me now ask Christ. Think about the absurdity of that, by the way, because who said the Prime Minister is going to be Prime Minister forever? Who said that? Unless God come. At some point, neighbor rights and labor rights and comrades, the Prime Minister's time in office will come to an end. But is the Prime Minister going to determine that? Not Mr. Buchanan and not the PNP. Is the Prime Minister will decide that. Listen to that. You hear? Mr. Buchanan can't determine when the Prime Minister leave office. The Prime Minister will determine that himself, because he now lose no election. Prime Minister will not lose any election in Jamaica. So don't talk about ask Christ. You can't replace him, you can't overthrow him, you can't do nothing to the most honorable 1 p.m. bro God. Nothing at all. He will stay there until he decide not to run again. And when he decide not to run again, he will give the country to one of the Young Turks, and they will win their own mandate. PNP not coming back into power for now. Since I was no want to. A war we want, a war we get. Una look war, a war we want, a war we go get. Oh boy, I tell you the truth. It's fascinating. A war we want, a war we go get. Una look war, then make we turn up war pound. Wholeness now leave out of power yet. Okay? Just ease on yourself and go and take on a beating. One by one, una go lose. One by one, una go lose. Okay? So, Bill, easy. Don't make we have to turn up the pressure. Okay, with that, you see how we are easy. We're not Andre Stevens over here. We're not dramatic like Mr. Andre Stevens. Hello, Mr. Stevens. How are you doing, sir? And we're not Rosalie. And we don't say gyno technical. We don't talk about gyno technical. Hello, Rosalie. How are you doing? Rosalie say, but I tell you the truth. Rosalie says she go into our gyno technical. Wow. Oh my goodness. By the way, time is going for me. Let me stop the joking, okay? And listen to a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
There was something that you were going to ask, Provost.
Yeah, no, go ahead, finish. I have a couple of questions, but
No, as prompting you actually.
oh, okay, all right, fine. Good. One of the questions that and this is a premature question, but I just out of respect for the person asking it, and if one person is asking it, then maybe other people are thinking about it. They ask, will the PNP take the government to court if NaRRA is passed? If the NaRRA bill...
No, listen to this carefully. Very, very important. I'm going to be dealing with this. Good afternoon, Powerman. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening.
Powerman, could you please unmute your mic, please?
Yes, good evening, neighbor.
Good evening to you, sir. Hi, haven't heard from you in a while. What's happening?
Yes, neighbor. I was so busy catching up with the work at my...
You're busy catching up with the work.
Yes, neighbor. So sometimes I don't have no time to scratch my head, but
okay.
You know, I'm getting a little break now, so I'm still flying up what is going on. Sometimes I just browse through, but cannot say hi. But you know, this evening I have the time, and you know, a lot of people, you know, are in the comments that they're glad to hear me back and all those things.
You bet, yeah.
Yeah, I miss this show. I miss this show so much, neighbor.
You do.
Know, this show is a part of me, you know.
You do miss the show.
Yeah, I miss the show, neighbor.
By the way, you realize that the sagacious Prime Minister is under attack again? The sagacious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, neighbor. I type a word in the comment for the People National Party, you know. The JLP members are sagacious, you know, and the PNP are nagacious.
They're nagacious?
Yeah, it's nagacious versus sagacious, neighbor.
What that mean now? What nagacious mean?
Nagacious when person are trivial, neighbor, petty, and those are the People National Party.
Oh, they're petty?
Yes, they are nagacious.
I think they're more than petty. There's another word that rhyme with that, but we can't say it on here.
Yeah, they are nagacious, neighbor.
I tell you the truth, you can't say it on a Sunday evening program. They're not petty. There's another word that rhymes with petty. You know it?
Yes, I know.
It's okay. Oh God.
Neighbor,
yes, sir.
Neighbor, in our country, no, neighbor, whenever a party is in power like the JLP and doing a good job in a neighbor, you see, because I tell you that the PNP are full of acrimony, you know.
Yes, sir.
Whenever the JLP is stamping their growing authority and try to elevate this country forward, they're not gonna like it in a neighbor.
Yes, sir.
Because they want them to fail for them to celebrate and say, yes, look what is going on. We want to be in power. But under this leadership of the great sagacious Prime Minister, neighbor, it's not gonna happen.
The sagacious Prime Minister is not gonna lose, eh?
Not gonna lose, neighbor.
Not true. Yeah, I agree with you.
They're stamping their ground.
Yeah.
They're stamping their ground, neighbor.
I think he's going to get 5 terms, you know. I think he's going to do 5 terms. 5.
Neighbor is gonna be there until when he say neighbor. Because
no, 5 terms.
He's doing a fantastic job, and I can tell you that all over the world, neighbor.
Yes.
People are praising this man.
Yes, sir.
Getting a lot of praises.
I agree with you.
He's getting a lot of praises, but opposition, the opposition, young member of parliament, the reason why they when they are seated in parliament is because they are snallygosters.
They are what, sir?
Snallygosters.
No. Let me put on my earphone because I'm not hearing you so well at all. You said they are what?
They are snallygosters.
Snallygosters.
Yes, neighbor.
Now, what is that?
They go around and look for example, in Eastern Portland.
Snallygosters.
Yeah,
Isaac Buchanan is a snallygoster?
Yeah, Mrs. Bard was a very assiduous worker, and only a snallygoster can get her out because they go around with their snollygoster activities and
but you're gonna have to help us define the word snollygoster. What is snollygoster? Hold on there for me, sir. Hold on. There's a snollygoster them.
Oh gosh.
What a set of snollygoster them. Eh? Help us with that definition, no?
Yes, neighbor, snollygoster have a politician that is full of trickery, neighbor. They're full of trickery. What they do,
yes, snolly. You know, Mark Wallen is a snollygoster. Hello?
Yes, neighbor.
Use it in a sentence for me, no, please.
Majority of the young member of parliament in the People's National Party, they are snallygosters. You're so nice.
Oh gosh.
You're so nice. My God, you're so nice. Are we nice?
It is so true, neighbor. It is so true, sir. Because only snallygosters would upset, would go around and trick the people.
Yes.
Good with the people and upset a little like Miss Vaz.
Yes.
Mr. Slowly in somewhere in St. Elizabeth there. Mr. Sibley's down in Clarendon.
Yes.
There are snallygosters.
Wow. Well, sir, I tell you the truth. I think you're up to something there. So, you're up to something there. So, the snollygoster, boy, I tell you.
Yes, neighbor.
Anyway, I tell you something. You have to come back. I'm gonna wrap up the notes and then I come bring you back. You hear?
Yes, neighbor. Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, nice man. Nice to hear from our good friend,
yes,
Power Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Snallygosters. The People's National Party are snallygosting on the political hosting. Is that? The comrades are snallygosting on the political hostings. They are a set of snallygosters and they walk around. Whenever snail. You know, I tell you the truth. Boy. The snallygosters will be in Parliament on Tuesday. The snallygosters will be in Parliament this Tuesday when the NaRRA bill will be debated. I tell you the truth. Let us go back to Mr. Buchanan and wrap up this. Remember, we leave you at 8 o'clock. It's 22 minutes to 7.
That is passed is unsatisfactory to the people. Will they do it like they did with MIDS? Something to that effect. Will they do it?
Well, I will say this. The answer to that absolutely will be yes, because if government think them bad, pass a legislation that is breaching constitutional rights, and if
you see that, if government think them bad, pass the NaRRA bill. If the government think them bad, pass it. If the government think them bad, pass the NaRRA bill. That is what Mr. Buchanan is saying. Guess what? And he tells us.
And I will be the first one to challenge it. So that question you don't have to ask. What I know is we've had legislation that's come to the table, and so far since I've been in my short stint, they did the Jury Amendment Act, and they had some absurd amendments to the legislation, and it was called out, and with good sense prevailed, and it was completely removed. Aspects of it would go to the joint select. Our party leader has said the NaRRA needs to go to a joint select. We will see if guidance sought, amendments attempted, And if it comes to the floor, and I don't have no problem reading it right there on the floor, I'm not short of reading. So when it come, we will look, we will deliberate, and if you're gonna pass it, we will say nay, they will pass it through, and then it's a win in court and an embarrassment for the government because we seldom lose when we take the government to court for nonsense.
You hear that? Mr. Buchanan is actually prejudging the court's decision. It's a win for the PNP. When it got to court, the judiciary, which is independent, Mr. Buchanan is saying that if the matter go to court, is a win for the party. I wonder if you hear that. The implications of this is monumental. I cannot believe what I just heard. So confident is Mr. Buchanan that he's saying if the matter goes to court, is a win for the government, is a win for the PNP. How does he know that? How does Mr. Buchanan know that the judges are going to rule in favor of the PNP? You see that country here? You see that country here? No, I'm not casting any aspersions on the judiciary. I will never do that. But there's a matter that is very concerning here. I think that give me a second there. We will win. When a political actor says we'll win before the matter is even heard, it raises questions about we speak about the judiciary. Courts are not extension of political strategy, you know. There's what we call separation of powers. Separation of powers. The judiciary, the legislature, the executive, separate arms. The judiciary, they are independent arbiters to speak of outcomes, predetermined. Now, what is the public to say? This is, you see, the public, you know, man. The public must have confidence in the neutrality of the judiciary, a healthy democracy. You don't argue your case. You argue it before the judges and let them make the decision. How is Mr. Buchanan suggesting that that the PNP will win if the matter go to court? Well, the people of Jamaica want to sit down there and not open their eyes and see what is happening. All I can do is point it out to you. All I can do is point it out to you. Now, Mr. Protecting Jamaica, Mr. Protecting Jamaica had some thoughts on a matter. I wanna listen to him again. I want you to listen to him, and then I'm gonna tonight Protecting Jamaica. I'm gonna ask him to help me with something. How are we going to move forward, advance our development under a system, under a democracy where the opposition is antithetical, tearing down, poisoning the minds of people, and really wants to rule over the ashes? In other words, it is not in the opposition's best interest for the government to prosper. How do we advance under these conditions?
Neighbor, good night again, everybody. And I mean, nothing that's here and there. Good night, JPU. And glad to have you here. The view I hold is the government can survive in this kind of antagonistic kind of environment. But survival is not going to happen while doing the same usual thing or taking the same usual approaches.
Oh.
And you mentioned there has to be another approach, and I'm gonna paint a picture because you mentioned Singapore before, and Scratchy rightly highlighted that Lee Kuan Yew took some dictatorial positions in order to hold power and to be able to influence the changes that he wanted to implement. But if you notice in that scenario, the people of Singapore did not end up hating Lee Kuan Yew.
As a matter of fact, sir, at his funeral in the rain, nearly 2 million people lined the streets.
Right. Why? I have said this before countless times. What Lee Kuan Yew, the approach he used when he started power and maintained the same approach right throughout his period of being in power, was something or is something that wasn't generally practiced in democracies or even in dictatorships. That approach is needed now. What approach am I talking about?
Tell us.
Every step of the way, the plans were developed, and before any implementation, he brought it to the people.
Yes.
He started in the high schools and in the universities. And he had lectures in the high schools and in the universities. He started there. Why did he start there? My assumption is because that is what was born out of all of this. He started in the schools because once he began to have the conversations about the next journey and how we were going to get to the destination, once you begin to have that with children, they were now going to go home to the parents.
Yes, sir.
And so those discussions now will form part of family time. And because those discussions would form part of family time, by the time he went nationally with these discussions, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties would already be exposed to these ideas that was shared with them by nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren, and the likes. But more so, because of most of these changes that he wanted to implement had to do with the future of the country. Discussing them among school goers, university students, whether you just started or you were close to leaving university, because these changes were going to affect these young people. It made sense to have the discussions with them so they could understand the future that you are creating for them. And in doing so, even though there's a dictator run countries, a sham elections they have, but in doing so, what you have is sort of a national movement and a national buy-in to the plans that you're putting in place, because the people now see that these things you're putting in place was going to benefit us. And because they took that approach, it was always a soft landing for Lee Kuan Yew. And because of that, Singapore survived even its dictatorial tendencies. And today we talk about Singapore as the poster child of development because it is important to do so. I don't refer.
So what is Jamaica to do? Because having said that,
my position,
are you not agreeing? Are you not agreeing that our process of development is slowed by the adversarial politics we have?
Yes, but the opposition can beat up in chess and their chess all they want. Even if it was 32-31 and they felt powerful, if the approach, it takes time because it took Lee Kuan Yew a lot of time. It took time and it took resources to put on these lectures. But if you do the hard part first, then the implementation will be the easy part. No. The PMP can beat up them chest all them want about any issue. If the government goes on the ground to the people discussing the way forward, how we are going to get there and where really is the destination, it will not matter what the PMP want to say, because the people would have now been fed a healthy diet of a progressive direction that will impact them positively. And we have always been about this, neighbor. We have always discussed it. If you cannot bring the people along politically, you are squandering your time in office. But bringing the people along, especially with the kind of population we have, where we still have the marginals as it relates to education. You think, neighbor, look at the difference between the parishes that were ravaged by Melissa, run by PMP, as opposed to JNP. Scratchy mentioned earlier, leadership. It's not that the people in Black River or other parts of St. Elizabeth are not having the same issues that the people over in Eastern and over are having, but the leadership that is on the ground, smart leadership, deliberate leadership, confident leadership, you're seeing a difference in outcomes and a difference in behavior in these parishes. In St. James, Miss Birchall talks about what happened up in South St. James in the hills. But remember, the entire South St. James washed down into Central St. James down a bottom road. You're not hearing the same kind of nonsense where she up in the bush I talk about, and everything we washed down out of the bush did have to clean up from down a bottom. But leadership again. Leadership. It means that I saw Floyd Green on the ground every day before and after Melissa. That says something. You have to go to the people, talk to the people, make the people feel like, yes, we understand what had happened and we know you were ravaged, but I'm here with you and this is where we are going and this is how we are going to get there. Once people understand, even though their plights might continue a particular way, each time them feel frustrated and flustered with the situation that remains, they will remind themselves that the MP says that this is where we're going. It's going to take some time. So let us hold true to this. Stay focused. Stay the path, and we will get there. So
okay. Yes, protected. So we cannot get rid of the adversarial politics we have. The opposition will remain adversarial, they will remain critical, combative.
So you work around
the government to how?
But I just tell you, the government need to see the importance. Hello, JIS. I remember somebody asked the Prime Minister a question a particular time, a couple of weeks ago, me see. Prime Minister referred to JIS. Come on, JIS. It's not like back in the day when we only had one university in Jamaica. We have countless universities now. The progress of Jamaica, the next step in Jamaica's, in the writing of the future of Jamaica, the next step are the people that went at the university now are going to help to institute the next step of plans for Jamaica. Go talk to them. Plan with these universities, make the media department at Jamaica House make arrangements with these universities and to have these lectures, to have these discussions, because the young people in school today, whether if they have third form, right up to university, the new Jamaica is going to impact on your lives. So go talk to them. We have university in every parish of Jamaica now. See UCC I go to St. Thomas. Case down at Portland. Go and speak to the people. And where there's no university and you still need to speak to people, go at the church hall them or the community center in the parish, certain parish capital. Go have town hall discussions. Because once you bring the information to the people first, whatever the opposition will come with after is not going to form any basis on any footing. The government seem to want to continue to wait until the PMP start tell lie and they lie them sinking and they realize it's sinking. That's when they want to come out. Lead the narrative. Share the vision of the new Jamaica with the people. And not everybody watch TVJ and everybody listen to Nationwide and not everybody have TikTok. Go to the people. We in a bush till 2 o'clock a morning time. I look vote. I climb all breadfruit tree. Go to the people. Take it to the universities. Discuss the way forward. Okay, my golden all of a sudden now want mash up NaRRA. Take NaRRA to the universities and discuss it with the students. Go to Church Teachers College. Go to Bethlehem. Go to all these places. Go to technology. Go to off-site UE down at Mobile. Go to off-site over here. So go to UCC. Go to Northern Caribbean University. Take the information to the people and then you will have a natural buy-in. You will have a natural buy-in. If you do it that way, so you never fail.
Yes.
Lee Kuan Yew did it that way and he survived. A matter of fact, you do not hear anybody refer to Lee Kuan Yew as a dictator outside of some in-depth discussion. They don't. Because he brought prosperity to his people in a democratic way.
You better believe that. Protecting the psychological impact of negative criticism has definitely hurt Jamaica. I don't know the measurement of it, but the opposition seeks legitimacy by discrediting the performance of the government. And that can play on the minds of people because the constant criticism, a lot of people believe it, and you keep repeating things over and over. So it is by design. You are saying, Protected, that there has to be a strategy that combats this, and you're saying go into the institutions with your plans. Let them understand what you are doing. So people, when they hear the criticisms, they will say, "Oh, that's a lie."
The danger is allowing, especially for an extended period of time, and we're talking about the repetition of whatever information will be shared by the opposition. So there are two factors here to consider, neighbor. If you allow your opponent to lead the narrative, your opponent literally is leading. But if you give your opponent enough time to repeat the narrative, then you know repetition makes something true, even though it might not be true. And then once you have that kind of situation now, it becomes harder for you who still have a narrative to share, which might be the truth. It becomes harder for you now to even find a space in people's minds after the mind have already been prepared to reject what you are coming with.
There is uncertainty.
There is uncertainty. So it becomes so much more difficult for you to find even a small space for that truth to germinate, to start grow. And I cannot understand the common sense in the politics, if there is any, of our current government. You have heard me on this countless times, hundreds of times. Lead the narrative. You are the ones developing the policy. The opposition is not in the room of the policy. The only time the opposition knows of the policy is when they table it in the parliament. Why can't you develop the policy, start discuss it with the people, meaning you're leading the narrative. So by the time it reach a parliament figure table, the opposition is already upon the back foot. What is so difficult with that? What is so difficult with that? So you're always as a government caught on the back foot because you carry the policy to parliament now, and the opposition chuck off money like a mugrat. And then the opposition might make some sense. Can't take nothing away from them sometime because they are appealing to people's emotion. Then what you do? You run back to the drawing board now if you change up something at the policy. What you do? You look weak. Leadership look weak right there, so. But if you are taking it to the people and have the people themselves directly share their concerns about what you're presenting or ask the questions so you can answer, then by the time it becomes a paper to table in the parliament, you would have already arrived at a position that the people have already warmed up to. So it provides, it creates some difficulty for the opposition to even push back against it because it.
All right, let's leave it here. I thought that needed a rebroadcast because it is so fundamental to what I want to talk about. Protecting Jamaica. Good evening to you, sir. Hello.
Good evening, Carla. Good evening. I'm at Bot Spot on Oaktree. Evening.
Yeah, you're in a back. No, you're all right. Get out of that spot and get back to me. Let me play a little more.
People would already been familiar with it and them like it. What is the difficulty? And guess what, neighbor? Don't take it lightly. The new democratic politics, this is the face of it. The people are going to demand so much more of their involvement in these policy developments, and they are going to demand that whatever is going to be presented must be discussed with them first. I think the opposition know this. So them fool, you know. But me think they're reading the room correctly. They're reading the room. You can't be in a situation of tumultuous happenings, and you know that people's emotions are now engaged. Why can't you lead the charge in appealing to those emotions to calm them down? You leave that to the opposition, and what the opposition do now, the opposition appeal negatively to those emotions and get people riled up. Then you come now, a double work, you go calm them down now, you know, because you did not lead the narrative. You did not attempt to help people to understand that we are on your side, we're working some things through, it's going to take some time. It's that we want to do it good, we want to do it right, and we want to do it that it benefits you for generations to come, so work with us.
All right.
What kept?
Okay, before Protecting joins us, we have a caller online. Good evening, caller.
I'm calling from California, okay?
You're calling from California? I'm sorry. I hope that the listeners are hearing. He's calling through the line. Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're calling from California?
Yeah, and I was listening to the conversation, and a gentleman called earlier, some 30 minutes ago, and was saying that if the JLP administration would be guns. Right, remember that call, right?
No, that was Mr. Isaac Buchanan suggested. Yeah, member of parliament.
Yeah, but I think the reason I'm not knocking the caller, you know. I sort of understand where he's coming from, as it related to that. I think he's just upset and just want the Labour Party to move with more.
No. Let me hold on, sir. Hold on. That voice was the voice of Mr. Isaac Buchanan. Mr. Isaac Buchanan is the member of parliament for Eastern Portland, member of the opposition.
Mr. Isaac. he was referring to the administration as does. Okay, I thought it was a caller calling in.
No, that's the member of parliament. So what? Yeah.
Okay.
So he was doing an interview.
Interpreting it differently. Yeah, but to add to the NaRRA issue, I think the JP need to move it a little more alacrity in terms of getting this thing done and more, advertise what it is all about. Let people know about, what it is really gonna do for the country and a whole. You know what I mean?
That is the discussion I want to get into with protecting Jamaica. Before you call, sir.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, because whilst the PNP is suggesting the court, what I want to talk to protecting about is the court of public opinion. That's where you win it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. So basically I just want to, they advertise it a little bit more. As I said earlier, let the people know about it more. Because a lot of people, if you ask them, they don't know what the heck is NaRRA.
I'm telling you the truth. That is so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The simple man on road don't know what name so we need to put it out there, and I think that will be very difficult. I'm not sure through what medium you'll reach these people. It will be difficult.
Well, we're talking about town hall meetings, so engaging the schools and all of that. That's what protecting us is suggesting, and I think those are valid points.
Right. Because the PNP intention is to kill it,
To kill the bill, to kill the NaRRA bill.
And try to kill it. Huh?
To kill it or to delay it, eh?
Right, whatever means. You know what I mean?
But isn't that very sad? Isn't that very sad, caller? Is that very sad?
Yeah, of course, because the thing is, it is really deadly, it is potent for them, if you notice, right? Because if this thing passes, they know politically it will kill them.
You think it will kill the PNP?
They're pulling out all the stops to really kill it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
For them, it's a political nightmare. This thing, NaRRA, yes, it is. That is why they're really against it, because if this thing pass and do what it's supposed to do, all of those promises and people see it and see how it benefit them in their life, it will be very difficult for them to run in the 2030.
But let me ask you something, sir. At what point do we put the country over the party? Because this is not about the PNP. To hell with the PNP if that is so. Isn't Jamaica going to benefit?
Right, but they are not looking at that. They are looking at the next election. You know what I mean? So it's the next, how this thing will impact them. Because if this thing be successful, the way the Prime Minister articulated, man, it will be really, 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 really tough for them to come back from.
Wow.
It is politics. That is what it's all about. Politics for them. So they are trying to delay it or kill it if they can. It's simple as that.
Yes, I think you're onto something there, sir. I think you're onto something. Yeah.
So it's a beautiful bill and for peace.
You sound like Mr. Trump, man. You sound like Mr. Trump. The big beautiful bill. You don't have one of them in America.
I don't even realize that I have mentioned that, but yeah, you could put it at that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a beautiful bill.
It's a beautiful bill.
For Jamaica.
Yeah. I wonder why the PNP would try to kill a bill though that is going to rebuild Jamaica. If they ever do something like that, so this would be political suicide for them,
No, they don't care, man.
They don't care.
All they need is a win. They are talking about the next election. They're thinking about the next election. That's all that is on their mind.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's...
It's come down to that. It's nothing else. It's no loyalty to the country or nothing.
Selfish politics, sir. Selfish.
Absolutely.
You know, sir, I was going to tell my listeners before this evening, but I'm pressed for time, or about Sigmund Freud. You see, sir? Sigmund Freud spoke of the id, ego, and the super ego. You ever heard of them?
No, but
oh,
I will learn.
That's all right. What happened, you see, is that the id says, I want it now. The id. The id is basic. So you see, my goodness, more people are trying to call me, and I can't take any more calls. So I have to people, please do not call the line. It's you have to WhatsApp it, okay? Do not call me on the number. So you ever see a child go in a supermarket, sir, and the child sees sweets and start crying?
Right, exactly.
That's the id. That's the id. So the child see the candy and ice cream. You know, ice cream. Bite man blow out of the gate and the picnic start cry because the picnic want the ice cream and they want it. No. If this was a mature audience, I would take that to sex and teach the people the caution about pleasure, because you see, pleasure, sir, pleasure is a destroyer, you know. And if you don't learn self-control, you can't save the money, because you will work all of your money and go buy. Just you just buy. Okay? And you not even have food in your yard to eat. And you still gonna buy. That means I'm coming to you protecting that you are basically a child, you know, sir. If you can't exercise self-control over your sexual proclivities, you don't grow up yet. I want you to understand that you don't grow up yet. So the id is, I want it now. And then you have what is called the ego. The ego, sir, is how can I get this in a realistic way? So that's the planning. Okay? The ego is rational. The id is irrational. The ego is rational. Okay? Now, I don't want to get too much into this because this is not what we are here tonight. But you got 5 senses. You've got 5 senses. And I can tell you, don't trust them.
Exactly.
One of these days, I'll explain that in terms of how you interpret things. So it's perception. How when a thought comes into you, you don't just act on the thought, but it has to be interpreted. So the senses are what is connected to the natural. They connect you. It's like when you take a picture, you don't just put it out. You can do some things with it before you put it out there. But so the ego is the rational part. In other words, how can I get this in a realistic way? And then you have what is called the super ego. And the super ego is this the right thing to do? So let me give you an illustration. You see a girl and she's very sexy. Broad on her back. She looks nice. And your instinct said, I want a girl there. But you see her from behind. It's from behind you see her. Now, you don't see her face. Larry, let me not say a girl. Let me not say you see somebody going down the road and they have a big butt and they look sexy. And you say, my goodness, I want a girl there. That's the id, sir. That's the id. Okay? The ego says, how can I get this girl realistically? So you develop a strategy to do it.
Yes.
Okay?
Exactly.
But the super ego says to you, I'm married.
Okay.
So therefore, I do not need to pursue. That's out of my league.
Exactly.
What I wanted,
Right there.
what I wanted to do was to apply that to the politics, you see, so? Because I think Golding is at the id. He wants to be prime minister.
Exactly. That's a long time desire for him.
Yes, he wants to be prime minister, and he wants it now. No. Yes, sir. He wants to be prime minister now. And that's the id. And let me tell you this, because I could psychoanalyze that for you. The fact of the matter, and I pointed this out to my listeners, that Mr. Golding has not yet accepted that he lost the election. That's the id. And I'm going to tell you why. People who are, I hope that they don't lock down the channel for me to say this. Donald Trump, it's called the prism of loss. Donald Trump could not associate loss with himself because of who he is. Mr. Golding is no different, you know. And who it is that beat Mr. Golding? A boy from Spanish Town.
Right, and he can't. Mentally can't.
You can't. No, how him to beat me? It's like Usain Bolt running against me and me beat him. It's just can't accept that. Golding cannot accept the psychological fact that someone that he considers beneath him. That's it, you know, sir. It's a classist thing. It's how elitism fractures you individually. So you are so fractured that you can't even, you think you have to win. So losing for Golding is not on his card.
But why think that? Because if you listen to Andrew Wallace articulate things, basic, so the layman, even a cat man on the road can't understand. Right down, you see what I'm saying? So I can't understand.
Yeah. No. I will tell you, sir. It is called pride. It's called pride. Loss strikes at the identity of a person. You know, there are people, sir, who if they lose their fortune, they unalive themselves.
Of course.
You know that there are people, sir, who if they lose certain things in life can't live. You know, from time to time, sir, I tell my friends, take the bus, level out yourself. Nobody be up there so much that you can't come back down here, sir. Remember where you're coming from. Remember where you're coming from. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
The fact of the matter is that you have to always stay grounded. Always stay grounded. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to navigate life in the way and to ride through the various wind and waves that comes. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, of course, absolutely.
Great. All right.
So here's the deal. I want to make one more short point.
Yes.
Not long. If you listen to the debate last week with the response from the minister, the opposition leader, right? You recall when he was mentioning it was so I don't think a lot of people pick up on it when he was saying this bill NaRRA is just to improve the GDP of the country, and I can't understand. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
Yeah. Well,
he was he actually said it.
Yeah.
You know. So what? You don't want the GDP to improve? I think I scratched my head. I didn't understand why that is a problem. You recall that, right?
I do, but I'm gonna have to run you here, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So you do call. So you don't have a TikTok account?
No, I'm more on YouTube.
Oh, you're over on YouTube. Well, that's nice. You can join us there, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself. And thanks for calling.
Yep.
Okay. Great. So that's on the telephone line. Protecting Jamaica. Are you ready now, sir?
Yes, neighbor, I'm here. Good evening again.
Yeah.
You hear me?
I'm hearing you. Protecting Jamaica. I in preparing for this program tonight, I looked at a number of things, and in addition to that, the threat of the People's National Party that they intend to, if the government passes the bill if they are not satisfied with the bill, they are going to go to court with the bill. Now, the fact of the matter is that that aside is for the court to determine whether or not the bill stands up to scrutiny or not. That's the judiciary. The Court of Public Opinion protecting Jamaica, I tested today, and the Court of Public Opinion is unaware of what I was talking about. And I remember having this conversation with you. The government cannot lose in the Court of Public Opinion if they are smart. Don't you think, as the government presses forward to have this bill pass or not protecting, there must be public education to bring the people along so that the people understands what the opposition strategy is about?
Yes, neighbor, I have been on this for so long that sometimes I swear the people who have been listening to me might start to think that I'm a scratch record. The most important part of something like this is the politics of it. Guess who understands that very well? The PMP. Now, in the Court of Public Opinion, you have done your short survey and nobody know no name NaRRA. You're lucky somebody never said to you, say, yes, man, I'm a girlfriend from your 16.
But why protecting? Why? When a bill is to be passed of the magnitude of NaRRA, why is Jamaica unaware of it?
Let me start on September. Let me start about a month before September 3rd, 2025. Let me start about 6 months before September 3rd, 2025. If the government, yes, there are members who I reach out to and, they listen to what I say and they say, yes, good idea. But if they were really paying attention to how the politics has changed, they change the politics, But they are caught up with themselves having changed the politics. And if they were paying attention, if they were really paying attention, neighbor, they could have retained at least 45 seats. They could have won at least 45 seats.
Yes.
If they were paying attention. And it is the biggest problem that the Jamaica Labour Party has when it forms government. They neglect the politics until it's coming around to election time. And I do not understand why it is that you think that you should leave the hard work up until a few weeks before the election to go stress out yourself and maybe drop down in a hot sonat.
Yes.
It is the same thing with this now. They need to see the benefit of while they are in government. Communicate with the people. It relates to the same things that you say you're doing on behalf of the people. Make the people understand what you do.
Yes.
TVJ, don't carry it how you want it to carry. And everybody are going to jump on TikTok. See that the gentleman they who love Jamaica in sound. He never have a TikTok account.
Yes, he doesn't.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I want you to yeah, sorry. I want you to double down on this because I think this is very important. The fact of the matter is that, and I wrote a political strategy for the government this afternoon, how they can go about it. I don't want to share it on air, but how they can win this easily. The fact of the matter, protecting, is that the PNP is obstructing the bill. It is clear to see that the PNP is obstructing, and Mr. Buchanan is saying that they are going to win it in court. If they go to court, they're going to win.
But neighbor, but at the same thing we are discussing months, may you Scratchy and Harry.
Yes.
The only place that the PNP will get them way. All right.
Well, first of all, hold on. He says that the opposition wants it to go to a a select committee. So that's what they're going to be pushing for.
For 3 years, yeah.
How long?
Hold it up for 2-3 years. That's the intention. So we have to explain, we have to interpret the politics to the people, you know.
Yes.
Joint select committee, hold up the bill and delay it for 2 to 3 years. All right, next thing now. And if that not happen, go to the court to block it.
And how long the court is going to take to try this matter?
Court go block it right away, man, and then the government have to go appeal, and when they appeal, then you have stay of the issue, and then but it go remain in limbo. So the strategy is just
no. But if the bill pass protecting, do they need one member of the Senate to pass it, or it can be passed?
No, man, it's simple majority. The government, a simple majority bill.
Oh,
it not change nothing in our constitution. A simple majority bill.
Okay. So if the bill pass, the government can proceed with the implementation of the projects.
Yes,
while it is,
we have to understand law. Do you realize that Donald Trump first and second term as president, he has gone to the court about 300, 400 times and has never won a case?
Yes. Still president though.
His intention is not to win the case, his neighbor. His intention is to delay processes. You have to understand how you use those as strategy. When you're using those as political strategy, that's how it works.
Yes.
In this case, this is the perfect scenario for the PMP to use the court as a political strategy.
I know. I know. Yes.
To jam up the bill, and when you have 2-3 years run off now, that is 3/4 way in the government term. What can the government do even if the court free it up, or if there is some leeway at the end of 3 years? Nothing. Not one building can go.
And by that time, the pressure builds.
And by that time, the pressure builds, and the government again is on the back foot. You see, neighbor, there is no other political strategy than that discussion that you played that we had a few days ago. That was political strategy being outlined by me in that discussion.
That's what I played.
There's no other political strategy. Bring the people along. Once you make the somebody with their house blow down, no say, NaRRA means say me I go build back your house, but me I give a better piece of land. And you never have no land, because people land in that squat pan. You go build one house for a piece of land now, you go have paper seat. PMP can't change that to somebody their mind. They are in support of it because that they want. Why doesn't the government realize that the only political strategy, especially in this 21st century type of politics, is to bring the people along? There's no other strategy. The People's National Party. All right. We discussed last week when everybody was discussing Marlene, that Marlene has raised her hand, pausing a situation that now ISAT is talking about. A sound, Marlene sound the alarm in a neighbor. She sounded the alarm.
Yes.
Because if there are any deficiencies at all in the bill, and it go before the court, and the court find one deficiency. All right, let me help the people to understand. The language that Mr. Buchanan used just now when you play him is saying to us that them have the judiciary in them pocket.
Well,
there's no other way to interpret it.
Boy, I tell you.
I'm sure him a go win, speak with such just like what them did I do. When them attack about and the ice. And then later on we learned that they were getting information. They have
the signal is poor. Let's give him a little time to. I think he's in a bad spot. Let's give him a little time. It's a fascinating political time we're in, you know. And I'm very, very concerned about what is happening here. Very, very concerned. Clearly, the opposition is suggesting that if they don't have their way on Tuesday, they're going to go to the court. What is going to happen? What is going to happen?
I have a little signal now, neighbor.
Yes, protecting. Go ahead.
Yes. So We have to take these things seriously, neighbor. Mr. Buchanan is on social media threatening the government on a bill in the parliament to restore some semblance of normalcy to people's lives who were ravaged by a hurricane, a category 5, the third largest hurricane ever recorded in history.
Yes.
And he's on social media threatening that he's the first one.
Yes.
And
that they're gonna win. And that they're gonna win. But by the way, how appropriate is that? Protecting.
Not appropriate.
Huh?
It is not ethical at all. It is not ethical. As a lawmaker, it's not ethical. None at all. None at all, neighbor. But this is what we have to deal with. And that is the reason why I said to you, the government should have learned 2.5 years into the PMP going around the country that this kind of onslaught of nastiness and negativity, we are not going to be able to win. The government needs to see the value in going to the communities, going to the church halls and have meetings. The good thing is that a 5
He's breaking up again. I wonder if I could take a call. Give him a minute. Give me a minute there. Protect him. Give me a minute. Let me just take a call in the meantime for 5 minutes. Hold on his microphone there for me. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, I am here listening to your program, man. You're doing a very good job, my brother.
Well, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from in the States.
Oh, you're in the United States. Yeah, man. Nice to have you.
Yes. But before I get into my little 2 cents, you promised us that you're going to share the poll with us in April.
No. As a matter of fact, sir, I have it, and it is a pretty. It's not a scientific poll, sir. It's a snapshot that I developed a very good predictor, but I had to hold on to it a little bit, you see, sir, because these things can be a little controversial sometimes, and I discussed it with my team, and we decided that let's hold it a little bit. But I tell you what may happen. Are you on YouTube?
Yes, I'm on YouTube.
Okay. Subscribe to Patreon, and probably you get it there.
All right, no problem.
That's it.
But yeah, no problem.
Yeah, man.
With issue of the NaRRA bill now, right? I listen the message that they were playing from Isaac Buchanan, right?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, that statement that you make, that Isaac Buchanan make, has just given the PNP another defeat.
It has given them another defeat?
Yes.
Wow. What do you mean by that?
It's a very, well, the court of Jamaica is independent, you know.
Yes, sir.
And the court of Jamaica.
Neighbor, please allow me to interrupt. The call is not very clear on YouTube.
All right, you hear me now?
You're a little.
Yes, yeah. You're hearing me now, right?
Go ahead. Yes.
The court should not be drawn into any political matters until it goes before them.
Yes, sir. So for him to suggest that they're gonna win, not appropriate at all.
And that's why I said to you, wherever the PNP is now, Mark Gordon-led administration must be asking themselves what Isaac Buchanan just said.
Yes, sir. But you know something, sir, and I think I hope that the media in Jamaica will pick it up.
Right? Because that's a dangerous precedent we are setting now.
Very dangerous, sir.
Right?
And that's why I said to you, that statement handed the PNP another defeat.
But sir, how do you say that? Who is going to take this up and let the people of Jamaica know the implications of it?
But remember, the PNP is just there to be propagandists in our neighbor. And when statement, let me tell you something. When you are in opposition, it is your responsibility to criticize. But it's not everything you criticize. And you must have responsible criticism. Right? When you're a member of parliament, you're elected to serve, you represent the country. Therefore, your choice of words brings weight in a good way, in a bad way. Me can tell you, with God and Christ, those are the words that he used.
Yes.
If you think you're bad, pass the bill. That's not the PNP that I have grown up with, and no.
My God, you're right, sir.
MPs look like that. That is not professionalism interview. That is now digging the PNP further and giving the honest administration ammunition again. Who does that?
Yes.
Stupid as you are. Stupid as you are. You must be precise. You must be professional. And you must be sturdy. And people can understand what you are saying. Who says that for your MP? Who speak like the man in the street, like you're into some form of gangs or, you're just there. No, you're not better than anybody. But you're giving an interview, the world is listening. JLP, PNP is listening. And when you speak that way, it is safe to say, in other words, is this the people we want to lead? Is this the organization you want to be a part of? No. And that's why I've said to you, the PNP, based on Isaac Buchanan's statement, has find themselves into a corner that they will never get out of.
Boy, sir, I think you have done something here this evening that is very good. I commend you, sir. I applaud you. You are a very good. You are a thinker. I am thinking the same thing, sir. And I think you are right. You are correct, sir. The fact of the matter, sir, is that you cannot give the public impression that the judiciary is unbiased. It's biased. You can't do that.
You're right. If you notice the Prime Minister, neighbor.
Yes.
Whenever time the Prime Minister speak, he speaks with alacrity. He speaks with professionalism.
Yes.
He never attacked the judiciary system.
No, you can't do that.
Because the last thing he wanted to do.
Yes.
Even though if you know they are against you, you can't become public with it.
No,
because the world is listening you.
Yes, sir. And in a democracy, sir, separation of power is fundamental.
It is very fundamental. Because that's where you get justice. You can't trample on that in public.
Boy, may I tell you, you are
this
very.
This is not what they call setting up the judiciary.
Yes.
With political maneuvering.
My God.
That is dangerous tonight.
Boy, sir, say it again.
I am urging the PNP party, if Mark Golding claim, and I'm not speaking as a JLP now, or a PNP now, I'm speaking as a Jamaican. If Mark Golding has leadership qualities, demonstrate it now.
He must remove Mr. Buchanan from the party.
Demonstrate that now. Let me see that you are a leader aspiring to become Prime Minister. Because if it was any JLP member state that they will have to answer to the Prime Minister. I know honest like that.
You are saying that Mr. Buchanan should be removed from the political process, sir?
Well, he should face strong disciplinary action for that. Because that's a dangerous precedent we are setting. Sometimes when you speak, and if you don't know what you're saying, say nothing.
Yes. Why I tell you this is.
President Buchanan did say, in my few words, we are looking at the legal process, if there is any, and we will have further discussion on that. That's okay. Good. Then understand. You can't give the impression as if you are buying out the court.
You're going to win.
That's why a lot of people go, yes. Right.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm hearing you.
No, I'm saying to you, sir, he is undermining it. He is undermining public confidence in the judicial neutrality. Judicial neutrality, sir. Because when you say we will win, what do you mean you will win when the case not go before the judges yet?
You arrive by that. Is there something Mr. Buchanan know that we don't know? Or is there the perception over the years that the court aligned to one political party?
What a question.
Is that what we are getting?
What a question you are asked.
No, I'm just saying, based on what Mr. Buchanan is saying, let us not believe that. Because
Why?
that would be dangerous. Because perception comes with contempt. I repeat, perception comes with contempt. And we got to be careful. And that's what I said to people the other day. Portia seems similar wherever she is. I'm a JLP supporter, but I love Portia. And bad as PJ Patterson was here at Jamaica, that's another story. We all know his history. We have never seen this type of politics.
True, sir.
Led by Portia, led by PJ. I was a child when Michael Mandibar, and I know him. But we have never seen this. We have never seen where the country, the good for the country, become the root cause of problem by one political party.
Wow.
Mr. Buchanan, wherever you are, I think you should reset yourself, reorganize, think, my brother, before you speak. You're moving too fast. I don't think you understand parliamentary settings as yet. Attorney at law doesn't make sense. Fine, you're an attorney at law, but you're now a legislator. You wear two different hats, brother. You got to understand that, look, when you're in the public, you don't speak as if you're in your house. You speak like you represent Jamaica over the world. And my last piece on it, neighbor, wherever the PNP is tonight, they must ask themselves, are we setting up ourselves for a natural disaster? We have lost 3 elections, and we keep pushing our foot down more in the sun. Because the reality is, NaRRA will pass, and NaRRA will pass in good faith. And the PNP knows very well that once NaRRA get to be executed, it's going to be disaster for them. Politically, Protective said it, he's right. They are doing everything to stop it, but guess what happened? They can't stop it. They don't have the majority. So they now are going to use the court, but the court already here. They put the court into a compromising position now.
Oh God.
That is dangerous. All those judges now are into a compromising, because if they rule against the government, the public is going to say, Mr. Buchanan didn't tell us.
That is true.
Yeah?
Wow.
That is why you have to be careful what you're saying, brother.
Smart man, you be.
NaRRA is the brainchild for the development of Jamaica. Prime Minister Holness has been the most gracious, greatest Prime Minister Jamaica has ever seen. And the PNP having a problem not with the Jamaica Labour Party, they're having a problem with Holness, Prime Minister Holness, because they can't study this man. This man is a visionary leader. This man created the impossible to become possible. Because the great PJ Patterson didn't know about NaRRA. Prime Minister Bruce Golding didn't know about NaRRA. Michael Manley never knew about it. Portia didn't know it. But this young man from Spanish Town, who dare you to come and make Jamaica so proud again, and we are here for so long. So they are doing everything. But well, let me tell you, I live in the state, but I can tell you, Prime Minister Holness is like, he's like an icon over the entire world.
What?
I can tell you that. He's like an icon over the entire world. He represents Jamaica unto every part of the world. People are saying they can't believe this is little Jamaica now. And PNP knows. And I'm not talking about the real PNP now. Because you have real PNP who believes in development, who believe in upliftment, who believe in greater good. So I'm not here to bash the real People's National Party supporter, because they are there out there that supported this government in every way. But you see, the tribal politics, that is what is messing up Jamaica now. And the PNP, I've said it on another program already, that the PNP plays on the uneducated person mind. The man who doesn't know nothing. The man who hears the news and don't even know it sound good and run with it. And say, oh yes, and this and that happened. That's the people. The PNP doesn't need good for Jamaica. They want the Prime Minister to fail so they can win the next election. But they know. And I'm going to wrap up with you now, because other people need to get a call.
Yeah.
They know that this bill named NaRRA, it is one of the most consequential political decision that is going to make in the history of Jamaica. Remember, NaRRA is going to rebuild back the country, not just for the purpose of but for my children, your children, my great-great-grandchildren's future. The PNP don't want that. Quick and fast. I know I'm not counting the eggs before it's hatched, but bear my word, the People's National Party will lose 5 seats that they currently have now. Mark my word.
Hold on, they are going to lose. Hold on, sir. They're going to lose 5 of the seats they have now.
They're going to use 5 of the seats that they have now, and I'm going to tell you, East Portland going back to Anne-Marie Vaz.
Oh.
Northern Clarendon is going back to the White siblings. There's 1 seat in Westmoreland is a dark horse that the JLP will take. 1 out of the 3. Right? Southeast St. Mary will go back to the JLP. And I urge you to JLP.
What are you saying to me? What are you saying to me? Southeast St. Mary?
Yes, it will go back to the JLP.
Hold on. That's a seat that Dr. Dunn lost?
Yes, that will go back to the JLP.
Uh-huh.
And Eastern Hanover will go back to the JLP. The JLP, mark my word, will regain 5 of the seats that the PNP has.
So is 40-23 at the next election?
40-23, that is my count, and I'm not going over, I'm not going below. Put it in your pipe, smoke it on YouTube. I said that. East Portland will go back to the Jamaica Labour Party. And I'm asking the Jamaica Labour Party, don't remove Anne-Marie Vaz. Don't remove Mr. Siblings. Don't remove Mr. Dunn. That's the problem my party have. We like to move candidates.
But I understand that Mr. Dunn will not be going back, sir.
And if he's not going back, the JLP will still take that seat.
I agree with that. My goodness.
Therefore, the PNP is well aware of that. And I said it to you already.
Yes.
I said it to you again. 5 seats that have been identified neighbor that the JLP will retain.
Why I tell you.
The next election.
Watch. That's it, Mary. See there. Watch it.
On the PNP side, you're gonna have 3 candidates based on my intelligence that is going to challenge Mark Golding. Peter Bunting, Crawford, and Das. Have yourself a good night. We talk again.
Yeah, call again. I have your number. Go and save it.
All right, cool.
Boy, I tell you, what a fantastic caller that is, calling from California, out of the United States. What is happening? You see, what is happening, guys, is that the number is on YouTube, so the people are calling the number. They are calling the number while I'm on air. So I actually have to put the phone on speaker so that you can hear it. My technical director, you're gonna have to sort that out for me. I don't know how to handle that. Let's go back to protecting, because he was onto something very interesting and important. Protecting, are you back?
I think so, neighbor. You hearing me clearly?
I am hearing you clearly. So the court of public opinion is where the case need to be the one protected. That's my argument. But the court of public opinion don't have the facts. We need to put the facts out there. What are we going to do over the next couple of weeks to make sure that the people of Jamaica are aware of this?
Again, my unsolicited advice to the party. A matter of fact, I've been giving this advice for some 3-4 years. And it is the best political move. It is a common sense move. The important legislations that you need the buy-in of the people, go to the people. You serve the people. You got to ask the people for them vote. Them vote in 3 terms, historically. Go to the people. Go to the people. Don't be afraid. Yes, it's going to be expensive. It is an expensive exercise to go set up for a town hall meeting and all of that. Go to the people. Yes, we all appreciate the fact that social media has made communication and communicating a little easier. But we need to also understand that there are still pockets, especially the important pockets, that still hold on to the former ways of communication. For example, let us consider the demographic of rural St. Elizabeth, the rural parishes, St. Elizabeth. Again, educated, which is the smallest number, marginally educated, which is people who can read and write, and then uneducated. Remember, sometimes not because you can read and write means you comprehend. So comprehension is an issue. There are some people, especially the older folks, anybody above the age 50 and above, they are more comfortable when you come to them, have a conversation with them. They appreciate that more. Don't tell Mr. Rai, say, him figure rush, come home from bush, 6:30, if you watch TVJ 7 o'clock. And then when you get TVJ news, them write the news how them feel for write it, using the words that they need to use to relay a message that they want to relay. Go to the people and talk to them yourself and tell them what you want to tell them. Don't tell Miss Jones, say, she need for me case and done our prayer meeting 6 o'clock because neighbor come on. Come on, listen me, man. Are we thinking? Let's talk about Westmoreland. We got the best example of what we have to deal with in Jamaica out of Westmoreland leading up to the election. Me? They say me not ahead. Come here, PNP. Me not work about me. I vote for PNP. Come on. What I tell you, say? That is somebody where you think I just log on TikTok and when the Prime Minister is live, that somebody take over the first thing. Me not like Andrew. Come on, we need to think. What is the party doing? It is still a political party, is it? Let's talk about Hanover. The last time me got Hanover, maybe 15 years ago, no, almost 20 years ago, me see a man and a donkey a walk, and him have 2 buckets in a 2 hamper, 1 on each side. The donkey a carry water. And the donkey reaching at the middle of the hill and stop for rest and catch him footing. The man take the water from the donkey and carry the 2 buckets of water and left the donkey to walk free. And the donkey supposed to carry the load. These are the people we are dealing with. Let's talk about rural St. James. And we could go on and on and on, neighbor. We are dealing with a situation where we need these people to buy into what the government is doing. And you can't tell them something to clock on CVM who signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Mark Gold in about 6 years ago. What you expect? You can't tell them something to read the Gleaner where Mark Gold's best friend is the chairman of the Gleaner. What is the Jamaica Labour Party doing? What are we? You can't tell them something to log on YouTube to go watch Jamaica broadcast sitting on it. Because even today I heard my colleague winner, one and only winner, that it look like the PNP get some people now down at JIS and the next one. To start black people if you are criticized and them not like the criticism. What are we doing? Politics is an underground thing. And if Andrew Holness, my prime minister, the best prime minister Jamaica ever seen, continues to hold on to this situation where you need to mature the politics, and in doing so, then you are going to just shut up to the scale of maturity without going through the process and going through the teething pain. What do I mean by the teething pain? Continue to meet with the people and explain to them why the politics is changing and why they need to now adapt to the new politics. A bill is important. If the JLP don't start to play politics, they are going to see this bill walla in the mud, and sooner than later, the people who are supposed to buy into this bill are going to see it as a fraud. Just because the Jamaica Labour Party refused to be a political party while in government, I mean, I change my mouth. Neighbor, listeners, consider this. The Jamaica Labour Party is the best government ever in Jamaica. I'm not talking about just now with Andrew. I'm talking about 1944 when Buster became premier. I'm talking about 1962 when the JLP became government again. I'm talking about 1980 when the JLP became government again. I'm talking about 2007 when the JLP became government. And I'm talking about 2016 when the JLP became government. The best government ever formed in Jamaica, formed by the Jamaica Labour Party. But the worst politicians in Jamaica after them formed government is the Jamaica Labour Party.
Wow.
Because they're too prim and proper. Once a new suit and the government salary them kick in, it look like politics gone through the door.
Well, is that so?
And I am not saying this because I want to say something bad about my party. I want my party always a win. So much so, I am not the only one, it seems. It look like, say, Marlene really want the party for a win. So she have to get up in the parliament and make the prime minister know, say, listen me, you go have some problem with this. And I'm saying this publicly so you take it serious. You know what should have happened since that, neighbor?
Yes.
From Wednesday, come right down to today, there should have been some public information campaign going on through the politics. All me see, G2K sent out a statement and Young Jamaica. What the backside? What that? What is that? You're right, one sitting put you up on TikTok or put you up on Instagram. What the hell is that? Look at the people we are listening to, neighbor. Man a call from California, man a call from New York or wherever.
Yes.
The people them with the online and the people them are foreign. What the backside wrong with these people? The people them we have vote for they are Jamaica. Go meet with them.
Well.
Go sit down with them. Go talk with them. So what if it is going to cost $2 million to put on one meeting? It is going to worth it because we have $3 trillion to spend. What? So what if you have to go make some sandwich and get some refreshment, make some drinks and get some water and decorate the place and have a nice and get the PA system, get one phase 3 or one of them to come put in a good PA system so you can talk. So what?
Yes.
At the end of the day, when PMP open their mouth after you talk to the people, and the people them will say to PMP, "Uno can go and chat. Me want my house in bill back." And the Prime Minister say, "I go Billy." And him not Billy back here, so him go Billy back up this up on the hill. And that me want, because when me done, me I get one title in my hand. If the government does not do this, if they don't take the serious neighbor, we are going in a big problem.
Well,
again, the PMP tell we already. Mark go in that Parliament and wrestle with NaRRA. And Isaac Buchanan tell we, then just wait for next week Friday if it come when it pass the Senate. Court Monday, straight a court Monday. And because Isaac Buchanan collect $80,000 $80 million per client, him have enough money to buy out a couple judge in the court.
Well, no.
Judge them licky.
Well, I don't know about that.
Why, neighbor? We have to talk it through sometime.
No. Well, I think the judiciary, it is wise to keep the judiciary above the politics. Let's not go to where Isaac went. What
I am not following Isaac, neighbor. Definitely not. But guess what? I am repeating what Isaac said. My money in my pocket. I'm sure we can win. Or you go win.
Well,
you must go pay off somebody. Or else. Then the judge must in a PMP pocket. That's what he's saying. Let us talk.
An unfortunate comment.
Let them challenge what Isaac said. I know we see so. Let them challenge what him said. Let the court show us that them not in Isaac pocket or pocket.
Well, the Chief Justice ought to put out a statement on that. I agree with that.
Oh, Comrade Sykes.
Well,
neighbor, I don't come in the bus. Me coming now.
Well, a call to Jamaicans. Though protecting. At the end of the day, this is bigger than party politics. If a bill is aimed at rebuilding and advancing this country, then the citizens have a role to stay informed, engage the process, support what moves the country forward. You don't think that the Labour Party should arrange a meeting and turn up a parliament with supporters, with placards saying
no, that's a foolishness, neighbor.
Okay, tell me.
I thought that foolishness. Sorry the language though.
Go ahead.
No. Jamaica has never spent $20 billion before 2016. Because we don't have the capacity. We don't have the mechanism, meaning we don't have enough tractor, what. So any project at all, we did not have the capacity. Not until Czech was invited to Jamaica with all the equipments and the capacity to build that scale before we start spend $20 billion a year. We get to the point where the government attempted to spend $50 billion, I think, 2024. And what was the complaint, neighbor? We all were listening. The money go right back to the consolidated fund. They couldn't spend.
Right.
We don't have the capacity inland. For the first time in Jamaica's history, we are considering over the next 3 years, we spend $3 trillion. That's a far cry from $50 billion where we couldn't spend.
My God.
It means, therefore, it will not happen using the same government apparatus that we currently have. We need a fit for purpose entity to do this.
Yes.
And if we do not have this fit for purpose entity, not even $50 billion now go spend out of the money when 3 years come.
Yes. No. And hold on, protecting. We have to also bear in mind that the state apparatus is already struggling to spend the money that is in the budget.
Okay. Goes back every year.
Yeah.
Even when PMP used to want to spend $2 billion, because PMP never used to have the money to spend for no. Even when PMP used to want to spend $2 billion a year, the biggest spender in government, even throughout the PMP years, was the NHT. And NHT could have hardly managed to spend almost $3 billion a year. It couldn't happen because the capacity just does not exist in Jamaica. We do not have the contractors to build at scale. We do not have the engineers to develop at scale. And we do not have companies that have the equipment to really do the work. This is one of the reality what we have to face. So take into consideration the purpose of NaRRA. NaRRA is just a specially built for purpose entity that will ensure that you get the best entities, the best contractor, the best engineers, and put them together. People with equipment that can build to scale or build at scale. Put them together, and the plans have already started to develop.
Yeah.
So it means that within a year, we should have a building a go.
Yeah.
No, guess what?
Uh-huh.
The politics of that, which they go again, my last video I did on my YouTube channel, even though me clean up the channel now. The People's National Party understands the politics of development. And that's why I keep telling your neighbor that I refuse to have conversations where people are going to tell me, oh, we don't want to talk about no politics. You do not have a democracy without politics. You do not establish policies without politics. It is politics that causes policy. Because the PMP believe in one thing and their policy is to go hand out and dish out with tax money, and the JLP believe in another thing and their policy is to ensure that you develop systems that work in the interest of the people. So, the PMP understands the politics of the day. The JLP, on the other hand, don't understand one butt crack or politics.
One what? Hold on. One what?
Me not gonna repeat that, neighbor.
Okay.
Me here praise the Lord this morning. They don't understand.
But no, wait, say, but what? Hold on, yeah. Boy, I tell you something. Hold on, protecting. The listeners are saying that, by the way, moderator, you should tell the listeners they have to pay for this. This is blockbuster stuff. They can't get it for free. They can't get it for hold on. Can't get it for free, man.
Oh gosh.
Boy, this is technical premiere this year and put it in the subscription on the section. You hear? This is exciting stuff. I have to take a break. Coming back.
Oh gosh.
No. Seriously. You are going on there. Particularly. Continue.
So, with the PMP understanding the politics, what they're doing, they're preempting, because guess what? The way the JLP has been, it's easy to study them politically. No, okay, nothing wrong, because the PMP has been losing election 3 so far, 4 so far, if you include the local government election, right? But, again, the farther you go, the harder it becomes. So, okay, you can save yourself some of the problems that the PMP going to cause. Now, the PMP preempting the government because they know that the JLP lazy and they don't want to function politically when they're in a power. So what the PMP do? The PMP run ring round the JLP all the year round, all the term round. And they continue to do this. How can the JLP prevent this kind of ring running around them? All you need to do is, every step of the way, you go with the people. How do you go with the people? You go to the people first, and then once the people understand what you say, because, neighbor, I tell you this.
Yes, sir.
When the government started the social pension program,
yes, sir,
the PMP knew that the social pension program was a game changer for Jamaicans 875 and over to be getting something from the government and you have never worked formally a day in your life before.
Yes.
So what the PMP did, the PMP sent out their activists right throughout communities in the length and breadth of Jamaica, telling people they download the farm them and them study the information.
Yes.
And they're telling people, we are signing you up for something and we are doing it for you. Comrade, them love you, you know. The PMP are do it for you. And we are do it, man, and we are get it done for you. And them still have them comrade on the inside. So when they're sending these forms and when they submit these applications, they get them approved.
Yes.
I said to one member of the party, listen me, we're losing the battle on the very things that we establish with the people because we're not punching heavily with the politics.
That's a punch.
And you know what him said to me?
Uh-huh.
Him said to me, it will work itself out.
Oh.
Now, in the example that I'm drawing here is that the PMP preempt the politics. There's always a preemptive strike with the PMP. So even if the government were to come out afterwards and to do it, yes, they would suppress it a little bit.
My God.
Those people who are already introduced to social pension through the PMP activists, who you think them are going to say give them nothing? The People's National Party are good at the politics, neighbor.
Yes.
Now them can't win an election, but the headache when them are going to cost you for 4 years, you can minimize the headache. Go to the people. There's no way social pension should have been passed. And it's just something on JIS and all them foolishness there. It should have been something that you go to every parish, you have an NIS office, and make sure the NIS director them in each parish have a town hall and sensitize the people them in the parish. Where is the politics? And the Jamaica Labour Party continue to lose the game of politics. Government is established by the politics, neighbor.
Well, hold on, there's protecting. I just get a message here that you are making party members uncomfortable.
Yes, man, me a party member, me uncomfortable too, so
Uh-huh.
come on, please. No.
Hold on. They're saying that you are to take it easy on the party because the party is trying its best to push through the bill, and it will be pushed through. And they said that your comment about them in a suit and so is that
neighbor.
Yes.
Neighbor.
Uh-huh. I didn't say that. It seems said.
You see the problem?
Uh-huh.
Me I wonder if the way based on where you just read the while, you see the problem.
Well,
you are uncomfortable. You were uncomfortable when Marlene have to get up in the parliament and tell us too much hole in the bill, so the PMP are going to attack you.
Yes.
You are uncomfortable. You are uncomfortable because I'm telling you that the people that NaRRA is going to serve, go to the people them and make them buy into NaRRA, and you are uncomfortable with that.
Yes. Well.
You see the problem, what I tell you?
Uh-huh.
That's the problem. And the root of the problem that.
Yes.
You're uncomfortable because the people who you say NaRRA is going to help, you don't want to go to them and tell them how NaRRA going to help them.
Yeah. The before we go to Harry, and Harry's over YouTube there protecting. But I think I brought you on because I as I said to you, do a little vox pop and you ask people, do you know about NaRRA? And they said NaRRA, and that I think it's a failure of government communication. You know, I heard bad girl Nats, that's Natalie, saying today that in the United States, the press secretary basically keeps a press conference every day. And I mean, America is a large country. We're a dot to them. But that the press secretary is always engaging the press. And we have a press a cabinet post cab once a week protecting. We need people to be aware of what government is doing and how government is doing it for them, because I think that is the real issue. You know, it's a court of public opinion. Let the PNP go to whatever court they want to go.
Before you go to Harry, neighbor.
Yeah, but even before I go to him, I want you to bear in mind, because we did speak about Lee Kuan Yew and how Lee Kuan Yew brought the people along with him, even though he suppressed his opponents. But he had a brilliant strategy of making the people feel included in what he was doing and protecting. And I think that's what you were trying to say.
Neighbor.
Yeah, go ahead.
The government needs to see the wisdom.
Yes.
In ending this practice of catching on and pinning on the Ministry of Information to a minister we already have them played for. The government needs to establish the Ministry of Information
Yes.
as an independent ministry. And this Ministry of Information needs to develop a strategy that speaks to the people at least twice a week. Come to the people on Tuesday, and I am sure the government will be doing a lot between Tuesday to give another report to the country.
Yes.
This nonsense of having, okay, education is already a headache, ministry neighbor. Yes, we know Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, she's bright, a brilliant lady.
Competent.
Very competent. But guess what? Of all the headache where she have to carry, bomb threat at school, man, pick me a star.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It need it. I agree with you.
Hell, she figure prepare no Wednesday man if you come and go. Come on, man. We need to be serious about the democracy.
I agree.
The government need to protect itself.
Yes, I agree, sir.
You're not protecting the government. And somebody are going to complain. Somebody are complain me out here protect the government. The government must protect itself. Why not expect Dana Dixon to do? The woman run over and out for a week. She had tour school. She had deal a light, a hot fire over there, so a hot fire over here, so teacher around here, so mark my lava, see people are joke in front of picnic. What do you expect Dana to do when the people need to know what the government is doing? What do you expect her to do?
Excuse me, neighbor. Protecting's volume is not working that well.
You're not hearing him.
It's hard to hear him on YouTube.
Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't changed anything. What are we doing here? You're not hearing me, neighbor? No, they're not hearing you on YouTube. So we're trying to fix a technical problem there. I'm hearing you in my earphone though. I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Then instead of here listening and I send message, or you feel uncomfortable, go fix up the party and fix up the government and make us feel good. We have to fight too much back.
Lord God, what?
And we out there fight the battle and the dirt and tough. And we out there for push back. With no help sometimes for Uno. So you did send message, but you feel uncomfortable. Go fix up the political system and make the party shine. We have you out there better. Make it easier for the Prime Minister himself when election come around. Jamaican people deserve to be communicated to and with.
Yes.
The country is maturing. The politics is maturing. Treat the people with some respect and go talk to the people. I go send message, boy, you're uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, you think you're uncomfortable yet? Me not stop beat until you get up and tap the lazy business. Every now and again, you feel like you send out Marlon. And every now and again, you feel like you send out Apka with a statement post on social media. The granny down at Westmoreland where house tap blow off and a chapel in the front of her house. I know she not hear Apka, Marlon. I know she not hear what Apka say. And Marlon Morgan say. Them afraid to rewire her house even if she have a chapel in front of the house. I know she can't see one post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday. A matter of fact, the flood wash where the damn TV. The TV wash where. What wrong with you now? Everybody want to walk around and profile a hard work. We're in the middle of a crisis. We don't get up and brush off on yourself and go on like say, we're serious about this thing, man. Okay, you're listening to neighbor now when you hear me a rant. You don't listen to the 1,000 PM people on social media at daytime and cuss, no? Why would you not go text them and tell them so you're disappointed? We hear them, we see them, and we have to have discussion with them sometimes so we know what they're doing and what they're planning. We don't text Isat and tell him, say, we don't feel uncomfortable, because Isat a plan to get on a quote. Huh? A matter of fact, if you didn't know who me be, you would have never uncomfortable, and that's why I remain anonymous.
Protecting, we're going to ask you for a few seconds. We're just trying to fix the audio situation on YouTube, so just give us a few seconds, please.
Okay. All right. Harry, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, neighbor.
You're hearing okay. Yeah, you're hearing me quite well, and I'm hearing you very very nice. Harry, you've been a great student, and you have been listening to all of this. I want to know how you feel about it all, Harry. Do you have a comment?
Um, I do have quite a number in terms of chain of thought, neighbor.
Yes.
But currently the one that is pressing, and I've been pondering and listening to protecting and also replaying in my head the last discussion regarding this matter. And I think what I want to put to the people of Jamaica so they can understand the strategy being used by the opposition at this very moment is one that can be very detrimental to the development of the people of Jamaica.
Yes.
Because there are a few points to it. One, we have up to 3 years to utilize this money, not a day later,
Please,
right?
please. I ask you to double down on that. Let us understand. You say we have 3 years to use the money.
Yes. So that's the time frame we were given by the stakeholders,
Are we?
the
Are we?
lenders
Are
and so
we?
on.
Are we? I mean, are we into that 3 year yet?
That 3 year has begun,
Wow.
right? And that is why when we look at NaRRA itself, and the Prime Minister said it clearly, that NaRRA will be looking at projects that should be completed within a year. Doesn't matter the size or the funding that it will require, but these are projects that should be done. Hence why they would have moved the starting amount in terms of projects from 150 million US to 15 million US, because that shows that they will be fast tracking and targeting a lot of projects. Doesn't matter what they are, as long as they're ones that will drive in key sectors: agriculture, infrastructure, communication, and so on. Now, if we're in that time frame, right, and we look at the opposition who request the Joint Select Committee, here's point two as to why the Joint Select Committee is one that can prohibit this bill to become legislation within the stipulated time frame. On average, anything that goes to the Joint Select Committee on average last several months to a minimum of 2 years. Specifically, and I'm going to put
Can't be
this in.
fast tracked. Can't be fast tracked.
It can't. There is a clause in it, right? That has, they call it the short time frame exception, which never really works. Here's why. And it can't work for NaRRA, specifically because of the magnitude of this bill. The only other bill that may be somewhat close to this, neighbor, is the Jamaica Teaching Council bill. And that took over 2 years to go through the process, right? And when that happened, it still went to court with some amendments to be made. So just by history, and this is facts, anybody can go and check it to see how long it lasted, right? They can go to the Ministry of Legal, and I think it's Constitutional Affairs, it's called, no, right? But it's a minimum of 2 year process. And if we're in year one, it means we're going to be talking about this, and it's going to be have a large deliberation around it. And even after 2 years, you may still require amendments there. So it simply means we'll be left with months to spend $6.7 billion. No country in the world has ever, of this magnitude, has ever been able to spend that money within such a short time frame. So it is a political strategy to draw out the process, right? To ensure that the People's National Party have a what I would call a aha moment, right? Something that they can say to the people of Jamaica, "Me tell us that them couldn't do it," right? And that is what Isaac Buchanan really is edging towards. So it is a bold statement coming on the front foot with a hidden message and a hidden agenda. That is the agenda the people would not know about. Because the moment it hits that joint select committee neighbor, and I believe it's Bunting who called for it explicitly.
The opposition leader is calling for it.
Right. They know what they wanted. They know they can tie this up in the Westminster system. They know it better than anybody else, to be honest. Right? They know how to bob and weave things, utilize it. So that is what they're actually looking to do. And they know the magnitude of NaRRA and what it stands for. And as such, if it goes their neighbor, it is as good as dead. Even if they get to pass it after 2 years.
My God.
We will not have the time. And this is why NaRRA's biggest thing in a neighbor is time sensitivity. You know? Yes, people will talk about the whole aspect of accountability, you know, influence that it may have and so on. But the truth about NaRRA and the core of NaRRA is that it is time sensitive. The money to be spent is time sensitive. The growth of the economy is time sensitive, right? All of that goes around time. And
yes, Harry. So how do we proceed? Therefore, are you agreeing with protecting that we need to go to the people? Because if time is of the essence here, and we have outlined the PNP strategy, which is to delay as long as it can so that it never happens, which is really very, very sad. What is the government to do?
Well, protecting hit the nail on the head in a neighbor. And here's why I say it. Despite the opposition coming off so strong on this bill, I can almost guarantee you that none in caps and bold neighbor, none of those legislators from the opposition, right, have held any form of discussion with the constituents. None. And as such, they are arguing on this bill from a party standpoint. Don't let them fool people with the rhetoric about this is not in the best interest of the people, and this is why we're arguing.
They haven't consulted the people either.
They haven't, right? They haven't. Nobody, because here's the thing: PNP love to talk, and if they do something, they're going to let you know, right? And at no point in time, any one of them, even by the slip of the mouth, have said they consulted their constituents. Case in point, I listened to Anthony Hilton, neighbor, and I had the I don't want to say I had the luxury of speaking to him some months ago, right, regarding constituency development, because where I am now falls within his jurisdiction, and he's horrible at it, right? We had a one-on-one, and he couldn't stand his ground, right? He doesn't understand the whole aspect as to the expediency and urgency and importance. And he's the one who brags on this, right? And I know for a fact, because of the matter, neighbor, and the sensitivity that I saw, because it had to deal with a strata and the Jamaica's future in terms of children, because there's a basic school around a certain area, with manhole covers and so on, you know, exposed right next to the school. And no member of parliament, which is him, has spoken about it, has even come to the area to look at it. He refused, actually, in our conversation, right? And I have the minutes from that meeting if anybody should try to challenge me on it. His words. No, if they did anything of this manner, neighbor, they would have spoke about it, especially Miss Burchell. They're going to call some names from somebody from the constituency and tell you how that constituents feel. That is how they operate. And none of them who spoke was able to quote any constituent. So I know that they have not gone to any community. They're arguing this bill from a top-down position. And you hear them talk about it shouldn't be top-down. That's what they're doing. They're arguing as an opposition from a party standpoint. Because if this bill goes through in a timely manner, they themselves have nothing to come to the Jamaican people to talk about, right? And that is why they have not yet. Even I can tell you don't go to Portland to talk to nobody about nothing. So all him a big up in chest and talk about dunceness and whatever, don't go to his name. Fine. A piece of paper and a degree and so on, fine. But the truth matters in the fact that you have not consulted the people who have put you in there. So you don't know what the people truly thinks. You are operating, and I'm speaking when I say you, the opposition here, they're operating on the stance of their own agendas, not the people's. And they can't fool persons like myself, neighbor, regarding this, because I know how they operate. And I challenge any one of them to come and say they've held town meetings and whatever. They haven't. And this is an opportunity where they have also dropped the ball, as this is an opportunity for the government to go out and get this done. This is how people understand the true essence of this bill. And you've spoken about it, neighbor. People ask, when you ask what is NaRRA, they're asking, oh, what is NaRRA? Right? That is the reality of the people. And it is this bill that will transform the lived reality of people. And if they don't know about its intricacies, neighbor, then it's not going to have that impact in their lives. You're going to have people being ostracized knowingly and unknowingly. And this is the step that Mrs. Malahoo Ford was indicating and implying as well, because I didn't expect the bill to be flawless. It's a bill. You debate it, you find loopholes, you speak about it, right? Nothing is wrong with that process. That's part of our Westminster system. Accept it. You'll hear people jump up and talk a bag of crap about, especially the observer who said the bill was shredded. The
No,
observer know how
the gleaner.
the gleaner. They know how this works, but it is to give strength to the opposition, who is simply following procedure. You know? Nothing about this is alarming, but because they know the people don't know, everything can be soundbite. Everything can be as if you are doing your job. No, you're just performing. There's no real substance. Because there's one simple question you can ask. I believe it's about 10 different member of parliament spoke from the opposition regarding this bill. And you can ask them one question, neighbor. What is their recommendation to what they spoke on? And they can't tell you.
Nor what? nor what?
Because this, neighbor, is a bill no one has ever seen in this region before.
Exciting
right?
stuff. Yeah.
It's one in which to transform people's lives, they have to know it. It's like, how could I say ABC and 1, 2, 3? That is how you'd love for your people of this country to know how to speak about NaRRA, because this is what will be done.
But by the way, I asked a professional, a professional, and when I say a professional, I'm speaking about someone with good academic acumen. And they said that it is from this program that they learned about NaRRA, Harry, that we were the ones that exposed them to NaRRA. And frankly, well, I won't say what I want to say. Let me the hold on there for me, Harry. Let me go to Chops Media is joining us. We're at 8:33. We're gonna have to we have another 27 minutes. Chops Media.
I greet you well.
There's a lot to unpack, Chops, and I don't have a lot of time. I wonder if we could schedule a discussion, because there's a lot I'd like to talk to you about. But let me start here. Chops Media. The fact of the matter is that it is emerging that the opposition is making it clear a strategy that they are going to try to delay the NaRRA bill. And even if the NaRRA passes with amendments, the obstructionist opposition will continue to try to see what they can do to blunt the government's success here. The argument being put forward, Chops Media, is that the opposition, through their man ISAT, is suggesting that they may go to the court with this matter, and ISAT is so confident that they're going to win. How is the people not more aware of NaRRA, Chops Media? And is Protecting Jamaica not correct by calling on the party to the court of public opinion is where this matter ought to be really tried, because say what it is about. It is the people's bill. What do you have? Do you have a problem with that position?
Greetings again, neighbor. Greetings
Yes.
to everyone. I don't have a problem with wanting for persons to communicate more and for persons to be aware of what the bill is and the pros and cons. Not averse to that.
Without being critical of the party, Chops. Are you comfortable that this monumental, almost a tipping point in Jamaica's history, such a bill is to be passed in Parliament next week, and the people of Jamaica are not as au fait about it as they should?
Because I'm not okay with that. I still believe that we're way behind the 8 ball as it relates to communicating. And the gentleman said something just now which is very profound. He said that he believed that the PNP, really speaking from a party's position on the bill and not necessarily a representative position where they're representing the views of their constituents. And I would say the same thing for the government side as well.
Yes.
I don't know if it is that we are making these decisions and using the people to support us. Yeah. This is not a 49-14 seat majority in Parliament. And as such, I believe that while communication was important under the previous administration, when I say previous administration, I'm talking about the JLP post pre-2025, that JLP government had a large seat majority in Parliament and had the luxury of goofing off. This time around, you don't. And I think for those who are advocating that the party should really and truly double down on their communications to make sure that the people of Jamaica understand why it is that they have to support.
I am hearing Chops Media. Don't want to cut. I am hearing that our criticism of the party's PR is unfair because they have improved it, and that they have taken on board a lot of suggestions and have really been trying to do better, but yet we keep knocking them on this communication thing. How you respond to that?
They have improved. There are improvements, and I spoke about it at length here the last time, and I made a comparison. There are improvements. However, there is still room for great improvement, and I think that improvement that we saw has now fast asleep within the last 6 months or so. After the last election, I think that level of communications that we had going into the 2025 election,
yes,
it's not even 10% of it today.
Well, that's not good news. You said in the chat that in response to protecting, that he pluralized his comments, and you wanted to add something to that. You were not happy that he was speaking about we or the Jamaica Labour Party.
Repeat that for me, neighbor.
I saw a comment that you made in the chat,
yes,
where you were specifically speaking about wanting to define who the Jamaica Labour Party is, because you are a member. Protecting is a support. I don't know if he's a member, but I suspect you want some clarity in terms of when we speak about the party, who are we talking about?
Right. Yeah, because what I find, neighbor, and this is the challenge I have, is that I don't have the luxury of speaking about the party because I'm a member of the party. And whatever I can do as a party member, I'm going to be doing it. So if it is to communicate about NaRRA, if it is to break NaRRA down, if it is to explain NaRRA to the common man who tune into your program and other programs of this nature, I'm going to do it. So if I am doing it, and there are several others out there like yourself and the folks here, I don't want to spend time to argue about who is not and who is supposed to. I am doing my part. And if every single blogger, vlogger, persons on social media, right, do what you are doing, neighbor, which is highlighting the positives of NaRRA, speaking to people about NaRRA. If folks out there sharing your information, we actually can do a way better job than who we are asking to come and do it. And I don't sign on to that whole thing about the party should, because the question I would ask the persons who say that, who is the party? Because the party is us, the members.
Yeah. I think maybe there is a marching order type of, and I don't buy into it, because I've never spoken with anyone from the hierarchy of the Jamaican Labour Party. I get no marching orders from them. You send me things from time to time that I read through. My moderator gives me the topics to speak on, and she gets them out of. So I don't get any marching orders from the party. I don't know.
Neither do I, neighbor.
You don't.
I don't.
Yeah, but I think that I have a duty, a responsibility as a Jamaican, and as someone who feels that the Jamaica Labour Party is better for Jamaica than the People's National Party, to do the work I do, and that's what motivates me.
And I'm the same here. I'm motivated by that. And I remember I was on your program some time ago, and you had made mention of not getting, adequate information. And immediately I took step to sort of assist in that regard. I don't have the answer to every question, and I cannot put you in every ballroom that you need to go to get what you need. But whatever I can do in my little way, I do it. And
Yes.
I believe.
Well, I appreciate it. I have been getting the information.
Yeah,
so thank you.
I think that is the approach. The thing I have a difficulty with, because you see, we spend a lot of time to call out and to highlight the deficiencies. And I believe, and this is just my humble view, that if those times were spent, highlighting, for example, we spend a few minutes on what others should do about NaRRA. We can write articles. We can have meetings, discussions right here on NaRRA. And you guys are doing a great job protecting everybody who comes on your program, Harry, and they talk about NaRRA and the benefits and the pros and cons. Yes, we can do it. And I think that we ought to. But to spend a lot of time, because really and truly, you're flagging a dead horse, This party has been around for a long while. And the best I've ever seen them communicate was leading up to 2025 elections.
Yeah.
Right?
But Chops Media, NaRRA is as consequential as maybe our
2025 election.
Yes, as our independence. And there's a lot of laborites who are now stating their fourth-term prospect on NaRRA. And I think the PNP understands that quite clearly too. You don't think that in that context it ought to be stating more to people. We're not supposed to be talking to people on the street and ask them what they know about NaRRA, and them ask you NaRRA what.
Yeah, but I can tell you this, if you were to keep or hold if you were to hold 63 town hall meetings in every constituency and 285 in every division and going to every community and every corner, you're still going to find persons who say, look, I don't know what they're talking about.
I agree.
Because that's the nature of Jamaicans, right? And that's just the nature of how we receive political information.
But so consequential. Well, so consequential is this bill, though protected, that I think an election type PR is necessary around it.
Yes, and that is exactly where I'm going now, neighbor. And I was about to say to you, and that's why I made reference to the political communication task force that was set up, that were activated during the last election. Late as they were very effective. They did great. I came here, I spoke about it before.
Yeah.
That you have all the communicators in the party. The party is laced with good communicators.
Yes.
Everybody is caught up. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. Carefully. I don't usually say these things, but I'm going to say it. Most of our persons today who are excellent communicators in the party spend more time with a camera and a team focusing and capturing their own image rather than spending that money and time getting the information to their constituents.
Are you saying that they're out there doing public relations?
Let me say it to you again, just in case it miss you. Most of the persons who are excellent communicators within the JLP spend a significant amount of their times today. A lot of their time today is spent on highlighting and showcasing their personal image rather than spending time and money to ensure that the communication of information to the people gets to them.
But that is caving Chops Media. That is.
I'm just telling you what I'm observing now. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know, it's just the truth, because this NaRRA bill is absolutely important, right? And I cannot see for the life of me, why is it that a G2K not hosting town hall meetings? Why is it that MPs in St. James, all MPs in St. James, why they're not
and caretakers?
Because, and let me tell you why it comes, you know, I don't want to say what it comes down to, but why is it that you don't have, for a parish like St. James, we hold all the seats except for one in South St. James? Why aren't we having, some town hall, for example, a town hall meeting at Sam Sharp Square, right? And you bring the communicators from the party. You have the APCA Fitzhenley, excellent communicator, Marlon Morgan, Robert Nestor Morgan, one of the best communicators out there. You have Kamina Johnson-Smith. You have Carencia Morrison. All of these persons who are effective communicators.
Yeah, I see Mr. Tufton on the road asking questions about all type of something. You should ask him about NaRRA. he would do a good job with that.
I'm just saying to you, sir, but I believe wholeheartedly that we can do a lot better. And I think we've lost focus. Since the election. The communication is about self.
Oh my God.
And not about people.
Not good at all.
They might take to court for it tomorrow, but who cares? I can defend myself.
But Chops, and this might be getting a little bit deep in terms of the member of parliament and so on. But you know, when people hear town hall meetings, they think about a full-on organization and structure and just to have that meeting. But it is not as hard as to call a town hall meeting. Shouldn't, from what I understand, shouldn't all member of parliament have a constituency day? What happens on those days? Is that they don't turn up at their offices for that day? Because that is a free time to in the schedule to speak about it, to engage the people.
Yeah, but constituency day to sell a product like NaRRA, I don't know if a constituency day is effective enough.
No, I'm looking at a start, you know. I'm not saying that is a thing, but that is a starting area to get something out there, because this bill is so serious that the party can possibly not do anything for the rest of the time, but they execute NaRRA and that wins the election. It's not. It doesn't come off as if they're treating, because I've seen in terms of election mode, people fight to get votes, get people to enumerate, move them around. This is how serious this bill is, you know.
Let me tell you something, my brother Harry. When you ask, for example, if you were to say to every member of parliament or members of parliament that look, you ought to have a host a meeting in your constituency, bring all your workers together and invite somebody from the party's communications task force to come down and to talk about NaRRA, so your party workers can get the information and they themselves can now pass that information on to members of the constituency. That in of itself is going to cost money. Because in the eyes of a politician, every time that a group of persons are asked to gather together, it means that you have to find money and they have to be mobilized. And I'm telling you right now that if you are to win this conversation about NaRRA, you need the people to apply the pressure to the PNP.
Yes, I agree with that.
Only way you can get the people to apply pressure is if the people get the necessary information that is needed to do so.
Yeah. In other words, the PNP will know, because it's politics too, Chopper, that they don't have the support of the people on the ground. The people will punish them.
How many persons you see on a TikTok live, like what's his name, the MP from
ISAT,
like ISAT, or how many JLP MPs or ministers you see?
Maybe only Charles,
Probably Pernell. Right? Everybody is too busy. We don't have the time for that. Chopper, you can go deal with that. We don't have the time. Yeah.
Bad strategy. Let me come before you go, Chops. ISAT made a comment in that video, in that interview that concerns me. He actually said that if they go to court, we will win. And Chops, in my view, that is undermining of public confidence in the judicial neutrality. The fact of the matter is that how can ISAT, a legislator, be predicting the outcome of a case?
Because I can predict how the game is going to go. Because if I have no one who stacked the deck, then I can tell you where the jack is, where the queen is. Why do you think that every single discussion?
But Chops, this is far-reaching. If this is so,
he's speaking facts. He's speaking facts. He's very confident. And why is he confident? He's confident because they have politicized the judiciary. They did so for the police force, and we managed to move that away from the political handcuffs. And I think we might have to do the same thing with the judiciary too.
You don't think that the party should look into this statement, Chops, and raise it with the Chief Justice?
I'm quite sure that they will respond to it. How effective it will be, I don't know, but I know they will respond. I'm hoping. What I'm hoping for, that the youth arm will. But I call on Young Jamaica and G2K to find some time to convene a couple of pop-up. You could call them pop-up town hall meetings. It doesn't take any long time to do a pop-up meeting.
They could even do it online. It could be virtual.
Exactly. Do a pop-up meeting, have the discussions, and add your voices to the conversation. Because yes, we as social media persons are out here talking about NaRRA, trying to break it down as best as we can and reaching as much people as we can. But the truth is, persons who are in the active political space, they have a louder bully pulpit than we do.
They do.
And when they speak, they command a higher level of attention. So I think that within the next 24 to 48 hours, we should, because I think this might be going to Parliament either Tuesday or Thursday.
Tuesday.
Yes, and I think that we again, it might be too late today, Sunday. We need a 24-hour blitz on NaRRA. When I say blitz, I'm not talking about just written text out there and press briefing. I'm talking about press conference, for example.
Yeah, and let people ask questions. Let people ask questions.
Yeah, and flesh it out. The communication task force did something back in 2025, leading up to the election. And I like I said, I hate to claim paternity to things, but that was one of the things I advocated for, that we should convert press briefings into press briefings, as in press release, into actual press conferences. And that to me was extremely successful. I think that what NaRRA needs is similar. It needs, and I know people are saying, yeah, we have postcab, and postcab looks at NaRRA and all that stuff. Look, a lot of things that we saw out there back in 2025, they were coordinated. They weren't just natural stuff that took up legs. They were coordinated and they were deliberate. That level of targeted and deliberate action in terms of communication is not there right now, neighbor. We need to get it back on track. I hate to say it. I don't want to sound like I'm here criticizing my folks, because I don't do it. I really don't like to criticize but I am here providing solutions. I'm not criticizing with empty hands. I'm criticizing, but I'm also providing recommendations. I think that the youth arms, both G2K and Young Jamaica, should really step up in terms of, going after a blitz, and a blitz in terms of cross-cutting the country a couple of times in a few days. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if there's going to be delay, but if, let's say, for example, the bill doesn't get through tomorrow, then that approach that I've recommended probably is something that should be taken on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sam.
You're welcome, sir.
Great.
All the best.
Fantastic. Protecting Jamaica, you only have 2 minutes to wrap, sir, and then I'm going to throw over to my friend in Protecting Jamaica.
Yeah, well, neighbor.
Yes, you see, you had company with Chops. They agree with you, sir.
I mean, after a while, neighbor.
Yes.
And it's after a while, people will have to recognize what is common sense.
Yes.
Politics is about common sense,
Yes.
It's about common sense, because perception is only formed out of common sense. Okay? That's politics. And after a while, again, as I stated before, the same thing Chop said, it is an expensive undertaking.
But he's saying more. He's saying that a lot of people are working on their image. Oh, that's not nice, man.
No, but you see, neighbor, all right, no, Flag Green is always on, because 2 times last week I was watching him. Even yesterday it was at a market, one of those, what do you call them?
Farmers market.
Yes. And within the week he was somewhere else, helping some farmers and handing out some stuff. So Flag Green is very visible too. He's one of those who I really look forward to seeing rise in the politics to leadership.
Oh.
Because he has commanded a certain grasp of the issues, national issues, and he knows the politics. He knows the politics.
Yes.
So Purnell, Flag Green, outside of that, nobody else. I mean, Dana, she's visible too, especially when she's going on the school tours and so on. But you see, as Chop said,
nice lady.
Are the truth. Everybody just post something and they want to function.
Nice
There's
lady.
nothing behind it. It's like man just a pose. A man just a profile.
Yeah.
And it's as if they plan to wait until the next 3-4 years before they start get serious. And they don't realize that the longer you're in power, the more difficult it will become to hold on to power.
That is true. Absolutely. Well, great show. Great thoughts from you tonight, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, neighbor, and I am happy to have reached some people and have given them some clearer understanding of some of the issues.
Yeah.
Good night, my friends.
Catch you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, let's jump over to YouTube and see if we can catch up with Mr. Henriquez. Good evening again to you, Mr. Henriquez.
Evening, neighbor.
Well, Mr. Henriquez, we're gonna have to put a wrap on the program tonight. I didn't hear a lot from you in recent times. You've been a little quiet. What's happening?
Neighbor, you see, sometimes you have to, meditate on the information that you're getting.
Yes.
Fine tuning the legitimacy of it.
Yes.
Before you go nuclear. So it's in the words of Neiman Crawford, so stay tuned.
But even as we bring the curtains down, Mr. Henriquez, what do you expect come Tuesday to happen as we push for this NaRRA bill to be passed?
Well, I do expect the government to step forward, neighbor, with a little more urgency, some aggression as well.
Yes.
Because they have to meet what is being dished out, and of course in the most politically correct way and tone. Because even though the opposition is opposing, because that's what they do,
yes,
right? They miss the tone a lot of time as to how to get the message across. They come
yes,
arrogant and demeaning and the whole works. But there are eloquent ways to put persons in their place, to educate them, not to have you want to have a discussion around the movement of Jamaica and not a fight, And as such, that is what I'll see from the government. They'll make adjustments for sure. Of course, they'll take into consideration some stuff that was said from the opposition. Of course, with a grain of salt as well, because like I shared earlier, the opposition is just opposing neighbor, and they aren't sure as to if the shoe was on the other foot, how they would handle it. And it's always easy to disagree and oppose to something. But, when the rubber hits the road and you're put in the spotlight to give the recommendation, we know that's where they tend to come up very, very short. But then when we see the government putting in the necessary amendments, I do expect the opposition to have less of an advancement. And I see the government coming out on top to ensure that they get it passed, to be honest.
Yeah. Are you optimistic, Harry, that we can do this? That we not only can pass the bill, but that we can really rebuild our country? And let's be fair here. This is not about the politics now, but that Jamaica can really seize this moment. Are you optimistic that we can do this?
I am, neighbor. No, in terms of once we get it started, because that's the hardest part of any journey, to take the first footstep and to continue thereafter. And we've seen where this administration have been able to not just take the first step, but to advance, to be strutting on the journey to improve Jamaica. They're a decade in, and they look to make it 14, 15 years in advancing Jamaica. So I know this is the hurdle for them, but of course it can be like a snowball effect, neighbor, where it takes a little while to get any form of momentum, but as it goes on, it picks up, it gets better, it will move, it's almost automatic. So I do expect the administration to get this bill across the line, and then to now see where the people stand on how quickly we can get, the improvement going on from infrastructure standpoint, building back our cities in a smarter way, utilizing information that has always been available to governments before, but they've not been able to utilize it or even have the technocrats on how to advise them and to advance it and utilize it. Now we're seeing this government having those people for the most part, in the right areas, but it's just to get this bill over. And then within the next 2 to 3 years, neighbor, we will see some major developments coming, because if within the last period, we're seeing things like a new police station coming, a new hospital for Spanish Town, technically, other clinics being developed, infrastructure coming into place when it comes down to roadways. If that can be done with that small resource that we have, imagine what $6.7 billion can do throughout an economy and with the empowerment of the people at that, buying into it, playing their part, because it is the people that will drive it.
Yeah, and finally, Harry, I didn't want to ask this question, but it is a proverbial elephant in the room. One of the major concerns is that the Prime Minister is going to be the minister in charge of NaRRA. You see that, eh?
I can see why it can be, persons may come at it, neighbor. But I think the greater sense
who better in the government to
oversee,
right?
Because there's really no person who can take on that task as it stands. Because here's why: this is the man who, of course, he has a team that came up with this, but this is the man who went to the rest of the world. The world called upon him. They look at him to say, we trust your administration, but we trust how well you have assembled that team, right? And that's what we want you to oversee. He was the one who went to the G20 as well, to explain to people how this NaRRA work, and persons buy into it as well. So there's nobody else you'd want to do it, because here's one of the things, neighbor. if this goes bad, and I'm not saying it will ever go bad, but if it goes bad, you want the man that will be blamed by media, by the opposition, by everybody. You want him to be able to be at the top, to speak to its people. And let's not forget the neighbor. He is the person in which the people has bought into his leadership and put their dreams and aspirations too. Not the other 60, 34 on his part, he make 35, but not the other member of parliaments there. It is really him. And as such, he has to take the mantle and lead it head on. So there's nobody in terms of stature and understanding and know where, because you may have other people in the party that has the passion for Jamaica and a neighbor. But you see that level of passion and a movement from Andrew Holness, you don't see that coming out from others in that way. You don't see the others with the calm-headedness, with the big back, as Jamaica would say, the take the buffing that comes. There's nobody else that has stood and withstand that storm, that flurry of attacks right across the breadth of Jamaica. All the attacks from the opposition, you have nobody who can stand on it. And being that he's the one spearheading it, just putting the bill out there for starter, he is the man that should be there, because of course his legacy, his leadership, his tenancy as a prime minister, it is on this NaRRA infrastructure, on this NaRRA coming to fruition. Because guess what? If we thought 3 terms cements his legacy for the Jamaica Labour Party, 4th term in getting NaRRA settled to be the prime minister and the first in Jamaica's history to lead the biggest economic growth and the biggest development since independence, probably since colonial days. He would be that man that championed the people of Jamaica and get them to where they should have been decades ago. And as such, there's nobody else you'd want to put their neighbor.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to have to leave it here for...
Hold on the neighbor. One more thing before you go. You see, there is a risk, There's a risk, and that's why I wonder about the political calculation of the government, because there's a risk. Who remember just over a year ago, this nonsense that was put out globally, because even the Miami Herald took it up and wrote about it, where Comrade Jeanette Calder put out there about $3 trillion missing. Who remember that?
Yes.
No, 6.7
3 billion. 3 billion. 3 billion.
No man, 3 trillion. She said $3 trillion was missing.
Oh.
Look at the story. 3 trillion. That was the story.
Yes.
And after the election and the PNP lost, she came on to Cliff Hughes and I tried to clear it up. She didn't try to correct it before the election. She waited until after the PNP lose. No, look at the risk. If you allow them to form the narrative, remember all these bodies are identified already as an extension of the PNP. 6.7 billion US, plus the other billions that has been spent even before the government get this amount from the multilaterals. So all of that together is going to compound about $3 trillion to spend. You don't want to run the risk of having these people forming the narrative and projecting a narrative out there. You have to come out leading from the front in order to protect the government and in order to protect NaRRA and what will be done under NaRRA. The government has to lead the communication to the public, to the world on a wider basis. And that's where this I'm very serious when I speak about this, because I know what will happen if they do not lead the charge, the communication. I know what will happen.
Yeah.
My last few words in that regard. Good night again.
Okay. Thank you so much. Moderator?
Yes, neighbor. Good evening, everyone. Just want to remind you all that come tomorrow at 7 p.m. Jamaican time, we will be broadcasting from YouTube. So we are asking every single one of you to go over to the Hello Neighbor show and subscribe and be present tomorrow for our first show from YouTube. Okay? So see you all again tomorrow at 7 p.m. on YouTube.
Fantastic, great.
Was there anything else, neighbor?
No. I'm happy. Yeah, that's it. Great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good night, and I hope you feel better, neighbor.
Yes, I'm hoping so too. Wow. I'm trying
and
to
just another thing, neighbor,
yeah.
To our listeners, remember we will be live here on TikTok tomorrow at 11 p.m. Jamaican time.
11 a.m.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. 11 a.m.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we will be live at 7 a.m. Well, why am I getting this 7 o'clock thing mixed up, neighbor?
Not a problem. Yeah. You
11 a.m. Jamaican time. So see you all again tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Fantastic.
All right.
Great.
Have a great night. Thank you, Protecting.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Caroline.
Sheffreen, are you there?
I'm here, neighbor.
Hi, how are you? How are my friends over there on YouTube? Are they doing all right?
Oh, yes. So I'm well, and the people on YouTube, they are an amazing crowd.
Uh-huh.
We have one super chat that I'd like to read.
Yes.
So this one is from Music Freak, and it says, Isat is very condescending, thinking he is the most intelligent person in the room.
Uh-huh.
If he was really that smart, he would have made better choices and not gotten himself sent to prison.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This is who the PMP wants representing them.
Uh-huh. Oh my goodness.
I thought the same thing, Music Freak.
Oh.
Yeah, and when he went on Rosalie's live, I thought Rosalie is too good to have him there, because at least she has never been sent to prison.
Uh-huh. How many people you have watching there now?
So right now we have 265 watching.
265?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How many people you have watching since the start of the show?
Since the start of the show, we have had, let me see now, because the last time I checked, it was over 1,200 persons. So let me check real quick here, and I'll let you know what that looks like. Let me just go here and just give you one quick second. Let this thing refresh, and I'll let you know it's 1,592.
Well, congratulations. You do a fantastic job. 1,592. Excellent. Harry, do you want to read some of the comments on YouTube for me? Are you able to do that?
I can, neighbor.
Yes.
Let me just get there.
Oh.
All right.
Uh-huh.
We have loyal 727.
Yes.
7272 saying silly billies. I think this person was referring to when you were playing ice at Buchanan piece. Wealth and Travel says if a development agenda is supposed to put Jamaica first, then the communication has to match the ambition. Agree with you there, Wealth and Travel.
True,
Definitely, neighbor. And they went on to also say again, the message needs to be bold, visible, and everywhere. Big national reforms don't sell themselves.
Wow.
The Jamaica Labour Party have to invest in telling the country why it matters.
Hold on. Go with that again. These are very good comments, man.
The message needs to be bold, visible, and everywhere. Big national reforms don't sell themselves. The Jamaica Labour Party have to invest in telling the country why it matters.
Lovely. Great comment that. Congrats.
We have here Master Jam, J9I, says the PMP is not a party to play with. Many of you attacking MP Marlene Malahu Ford, she had do that. Therefore, when the bill is reworked, she can defend it. So in a sense, she took a stance regarding the bill,
because
Yes.
you want to be able to defend it to its fullest in when it's restructured.
Yes.
I've seen here David Freighter 2759 saying
Yes.
communication lacking in the Jamaica Labour Party. They need to go around the island and communicate to the people the way they will understand.
Well, David Freighter 2759. Thank you for that. Yeah, let's have some more.
All right. We have, let me see here. Cock Rooster 6480.
Who that?
Cock Rooster 6480.
That man must be from Clarendon. Cock Rooster. Good night to you, sir. Good night, Cock.
We see it reads NaRRA is very good. It's a very good move, but the PMP them a fight it hard. Shake my head.
You all right, Cock? Good, sir.
I see.
Yes, what a name.
I also want to thank KCKC 5383 for the super sticker. Thank you,
Yes.
KC.
Lovely, KC. Nice. All right. Any more comments there from the callers?
Yes, neighbor.
Yes.
Neighbor. I have one here. Talk about it with Denny's X. Says the PNP, not PNP in a neighbor.
PNP.
Right? PNP don't want the government to fail. They want the country to fail so they can campaign on poor suffering and stress.
Well, that is so true. That is absolutely true, my sister, and that is so unpatriotic, very unpatriotic. I tell you. But we need a strategy to counteract that. Let's have some more, Harry.
Yes, definitely. We have Robbie G 4654 saying, really tell me when PMP vlog can sound so intellectually stimulating. Neighbor, you are doing a good job. JLP need to utilize and even fund the UNATS, Karen, etc. to carry the message.
Well, I tell you something. I don't know. The party can get in touch with our moderator at any time. She's accessible, and we'll be prepared to talk to them. We'll be prepared to talk to them anytime about helping the process. So Labour Party, if you want to talk to us about helping the process, just call up the moderator. We're great. Anything else there, Harry?
Yeah, we just had another one, neighbor, saying, from Robbie G again, to use state money to fund the information.
Well, the fact of the matter is that the Jamaica Information Service is funded by government. So that those are state resources, and I see JIS is improving, but this NaRRA bill, Harry, it needs a national focus, and the people ought to be aware of it. I just feel that we have to keep talking about it, but I believe that the government must launch a massive public relations campaign to get Jamaicans to understand what NaRRA is about. Because, Harry, if you win in the court of public opinion, you're gone clear,
Of course, neighbor. In fact, I say, talk about it with Denny's ex-neighbor. He said history will remember that the PNP carried the country to court to stop its progress.
Yes, absolutely. And you remember the states of emergencies?
Yeah.
That were saving lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the PNP went to court with that, and they boast that they win. They boast that they win, but that's not a win, and that is Harold. Sorry, Harry. I just hope that we can get greater civics.
Neighbor.
Yes.
To that comment Harry just read, there's a twist to it,
Yes.
Because if there's only one side of the story, history is only going to record that side of the story.
Yes.
If the JLP does not create a messaging to push back for the people to see visibly that while the PMP were pushing in one direction, the JLP were pushing back, then history will only record the PMP saying it not gonna work, and then if it don't work, then that's all history will record.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why it is so important for the JLP to add a voice to the conversation, because it is in this back and forth, the back and forthing, that creates a stronger democracy.
Yes.
And history will record the democracy as it was fought. So if there's only one side that is projecting a particular narrative and a particular position, then that's what history will record.
Facts, sir. You know that the country protecting Jamaica. I wish the program could go on until 12 o'clock. But you know that the country, the minister is reporting that we saved 3,000 lives protecting 3,000 lives. And the PNP, sir, is boasting that they stopped state of emergencies. No. How many more lives would have been saved?
All right, as Chops said, this is where G2K and Young Jamaica should come in. 3,000 lives were saved. So all G2K and Young Jamaica need to do now is to make some short videos, some 30-second and 45 seconds videos, to show that the PNP was fighting against the government's crime plan. And then this is what we're experiencing now, 3,000 lives saved.
But that is what is happening in Trinidad. You know, that's what the Trinidad government is adopting, you know, the same strategy that Jamaica used to succeed, you know. Because right now in Trinidad, that's what they're doing, you know, state of emergencies, you know. So you're right about that. You're right about that. Anyway, so Harry?
Yes, neighbor.
Oh, that's it for the comments?
That's it for tonight, neighbor.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you so much, guys, over there on YouTube. And you're gonna stay over there on YouTube, so are you coming back over here? And you're featured there now on YouTube.
Yes, neighbor. YouTubers don't want me to leave, you know, but you know, I might visit you 1 or 2 times over TikTok. Who knows?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, YouTubers. Thank you so much, Sheffreen.
Neighbor, I'm not sure why